All right, y'all, we give praise Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick it up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick it up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was testified of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba there is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? What's going on, man? Let's get it. 2 Peter chapter 3, where we're going. 2 Peter chapter 3, man. Dang, I ain't got it in this book.
2 Peter chapter 3.
Yeah, I think probably about verse 7, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hear you from over here.
From over there?
Okay. I'll have to make sure you predict. Well, hold on, because that's the opening. I can do the opening, I guess. I just gotta get over there. 2 Peter chapter 3. Yo, man, get away from me. What's wrong with you? 2 Peter 3 and 5, what we gonna do, man? Or make it 4. And saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they were willingly ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim, Shamahim were of old, the earth standing out of water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. The Shamahim and their rats, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved under fire, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us, war, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the Shamahim shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Then all these things should be dissolved. What manner ought you to be in conduct and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Elohim, where the Shamahim being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new Shamahim and a newer rats where dwell righteousness. So this is what we finna do. We got to go back to the beginning. We're going to see that when the Lord come back, it'll be as creation was the first time. Then we also have to look at when a new heaven and new earth is made, that it'll follow the framework of the original creation. Oh man, I ain't got no Wi-Fi because they say that I'm in the. I got baby one bar. Boy, they just gave this man 185 million to pitch for the Rangers.
You want to pass over DB? Yes. I'll share it with you.
Jacob DeGrom.
That's what you call a brother. That's right.
It should good right there, Misha. Okay, we good to go. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's go back to Genesis chapter 1, man. I know we was in Zechariah 14 the other day, man. Go to Genesis 1 and 1 one more time.
In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Do you remember what that was, without form and void? Because we talked about it. Do me a favor, good sir, and get me Psalm 19. Boy, that boy looking like he been working on the farm with farmer and the Dale. But just wait on it. Y'all remember what that was, without form and void? Or do I need to share the definition again? The reason why we got to focus on that. Oh, that's right. You ain't know they be selling the Kronk shirts when Roots fight. I got one with Lennox Lewis on the back. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be for Tommy Hearns, man. When the bosses get old and they need some money, they license their likeness. Hey, but they don't it ain't like Muhammad Ali though. Muhammad Ali didn't own his likeness when he died. See, Mike Tyson took that. That's why if you go on Route to Fight, you'll see certain fighters that used to be on there, then they don't be on there no more. Like they don't make Sugar Ray Leonard shirts no more because he was like, "Hey, contract for my likeness ran out and I'm out." Mike Tyson did the same thing. Roy Jones did the same thing, but then he came back. That's the only reason why I rock with them because they got boxers. Everybody like boxing. Somebody asked me, was I a boxer in the line? He said, I see you got the Kronk shirt on. So I'm old. I'm not boxing anybody. Y'all don't remember what Without Form and Void is? Y'all ain't got nothing fun? Y'all moving kind of slow, man.
No, the world
empty. Chaos. Let me get that phone real quick. Like, because this whole act like she ain't going to charge. We going to have a problem. It's a regular phone. They going to make me get another one. Stinking hell. That's Apple for you, boy. I know Darren's been rolling out with here for a long time. What you got? I can't plug them up. See, without form is formlessness, confusion, a wasteland, a wilderness, a place of chaos. So we have to understand that the earth was in chaos. Void is bohu, it was emptiness, indistinguishable ruin. So this is what we just have to keep in mind when we looking at what the world was in. The world was in confusion. It was in utter confusion. Hey, man, give me 1 Corinthians 14 real quick, man. What I did, man. Give me about verse 26, 28, man. 27, but 26 came to my mind. Go ahead, get them lights up while you at it.
How is it then, brother, when you come together, every one of you have a song?
Have a what?
Have a song.
Now, see, you probably done experienced that. Ain't that something everybody come together? They got a song. What else they got?
And have a doctrine.
You got a what?
A doctrine.
Every time we come in here, this nigga got a teacher. Come on.
Have the tongue.
Now you got a different language you're talking in. Come on.
Have the revelation.
Now the Lord done reveal something to you.
Have an interpretation.
Now you trying to tell me what something means.
Let all things be done unto edifying.
Done unto what?
Edifying.
Remember what edifying meant when we were in Romans, right? It means to repair the house. Remember when we was in that 2 Kings and they were talking about repairing the breaches? That edifying literally meant to repair the house. So when you actually see this is something that Mo Bruce don't want to talk about because we be playing games. But when you look at it and say the carpenters and the masons and all those who did the work on the house of Elohim, it was to repair the breaches. You know what I'm saying? So those who preach the word are supposed to be repairing the house. And he said, whose body, which would be you, which is his house. So there's supposed to be a repairing going on. But see, we can't get repaired because everybody is operating in confusion and the earth is without form. It's in complete confusion. Continue, good sir.
If any man speak in an unknown tongue, by 2 or 3 witness, by 2 or 3, most by 3, and that by course, and let one interpret.
That's right.
But if there be no interpreter, let him keep silence in the assembly, and let him speak to himself and to Elohim.
That's right.
Let the prophet speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge.
Let the other what?
Let the other judge.
Go ahead.
If be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace.
That's right.
For ye may by one, that all may learn and all may be comforted.
All may be what?
Comforted. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
That's right.
For Elohim is not the author of confusion.
You remember confusion actually defines the disorder. He doesn't write disorder. Now, why is this important? Give me Hebrews 12 and 1, sir. If you could finish that verse out if you hadn't completed. That was the end of it. Now, I just want you to look at it. He's saying that he's not the author. Now, why is that important, right? He said, let him speak one by one. Now, we don't want to use Clubhouse for an example, but for lack of a better example, that's all we got. Besides just the internet period, we have a lot of confusion and disorder because everybody has a song. Everybody has a doctrine. Everybody has a revelation. And everybody is fighting to get it out at the same time instead of going one by one. But he say the Ruach of the what? The prophets are what?
Subject to the prophet.
So that means that this is why this is important, right? Our brother just read this the other day, right? When we was in a room. They were talking about something else. But then the brother asked about the spirits preaching in prison. And somebody read about how the prophets testified by the Ruach of Mashiach, but yet not knowing what it was that they were saying. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't know what it meant. And then remember what Mashiach said in Matthew 13. As many righteous men have desired to hear the things that you have heard. They to be born after Mashiach rose from the dead than before. You know what I'm talking about? It's because you have an opportunity. Hold on. Well, it'll get. You got an opportunity to hear something somebody else didn't get to hear. They didn't get to hear that. They don't know that. They don't got none of that. What that verse at in Peter? Because I think it might be in First Peter. First Peter chapter 3, man. It might be in chapter 1 because I ain't got Peter in my book. Hold on. Hopefully that junk ain't skipping on their end.
What you talking about? Reserved and
Oh, no. Hold on. Okay, that's it. Yeah, First Peter chapter 1. First Peter chapter 1, man. Pick me up at verse 7.
It says that the trial of our faith
That's
being
right.
much more precious than the gold that perishes through it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and esteem at the appearing of Yahushua.
That's right.
Whom having not seen ye love, and whom though now ye
Whom you have not what?
Whom having not seen ye love.
Pause and give him John chapter 20, verse 24, man. I'll just bear with me because we gotta love to untangle. Because again, at the end of the day, we're getting how he gonna recreate the new heaven and the new earth, and why that's important with the statement that Peter made that we look for a new heaven and new earth as well. See, righteousness don't dwell under this heaven and earth that we presently live under. Truth be told, it never has. You know what I'm talking about? All we've been given this man is sin under heaven from the time that he put us under him. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to look at elements of the creation. The something came to my mind that related to the parable of Luke 16 and Genesis 1. And we're gonna look at that. That came to my mind while we was on the plane. You know what I'm talking about? So come on over here with John 20 and 24.
Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Yahushua came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord.
That's right.
But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands
That's right.
the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nail, and thrust my hand into his side,
I won't believe.
I will not believe.
That's how a lot of people live right now. They ain't gonna believe unless they see it, instead of believing on the word. But reading is because what did Peter just said? Who you believe, whom you ain't never seen. See, and you love him. See, this something I tell people all the time. Most people are not gonna be saved because they don't believe on the word. They gotta see it.
Question though.
Go ahead.
When you say, well, not when you say, the book say, new heaven, new earth, and the old earth should pass away. Are you saying that the earth as we know it is going to dissolve and then the new one is created? Or go ahead.
What happened is, and we're gonna see it because it's in what you call it, in Isaiah 52. So what he gonna end up doing? Because I don't know if you remember when we went through Ecclesiastes 1, right?
4, 1 and 4. Yeah,
and it's talking about like nothing's gonna be remembered. So what's gonna be done is it's gonna be a place of eternity for the saints. So the present heaven that we looking at now, it's not gonna be the same. And that's what we're gonna be getting to while he described it of vanishing away, rolling up like a scroll, and all this type of stuff and being purified by fire, because he's going to get rid of it. And he's gonna make a new one by word, just like he made the first one. And then, of course, we know in Isaiah 45, he said, I did not make the earth in vain. I made it to be inhabited. So then we have to look at earth. What is earth by definition? It's land.
Right.
So he's going to make a different land, different from the one that we presently dwelling on, where nothing but righteousness is going to dwell.
Right. Now I understand that, but what I'm saying is, now I understand that like it'll be a whole new land. Fire does nothing. It's gonna melt this land we on and dissolve that element.
Absolutely.
But with that new land is created to be contained within the same earth. The same globe.
Same. Hey, we ain't going nowhere. That's why I mentioned.
That's what I always. Okay.
That's why I mentioned Isaiah 45. He said, "I didn't make the earth in vain. I made it to be inhabited." You know what I'm saying? And this speaks to the grace and mercy of Yahuwah, because what I'm going to do, instead of destroying the earth and taking y'all somewhere else, I'm going to destroy the sinners out of the earth, make a new one by a new word, and put my saints in it, which is why I'm going to call them by another name. I'm going to give you my new name, and then you're going to get my father's name and the name of the city of my Elohim, which nobody in this present world will have ever received or known. You know what I'm saying? Some people might come in the clubhouse room and they might think, oh, them boys coming with a new doctrine. No, this ain't nothing new for us. What we dealing with right here, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's open to everybody, but this is for the saints. So if you ain't a saint, this ain't really gonna appeal to you. Because like what we talking about, what Peter said, he said, we look for a new heaven and new earth where righteousness dwell. He said, according to the promise. So we talking to people who actually believe the word.
Well, actually, the seed, part of the seed.
You know what I'm saying? Who's actually born of the word, whose name is written in heaven, who are of heaven and of the family of Elohim. In fact, we were talking about this yesterday also. And me and Zeta were talking about this also, because the brothers were talking about, you know, can people Gentiles become Israelites and this, that, and the third. And what this lot of brothers don't understand is this. What does the law say? I made male and female and called their name Adam. And Paul come back around in Ephesians 2 and say, Ephesians 3, I should say, the whole family in heaven and earth is named after Yahushua. Now, why is that important? Because a woman is called by the name of her husband. That's why I would tell you this earlier. I ain't marrying no woman who hyphenating her name. I mean, you need to go to your daddy's house, and your daddy give you pipe, let your daddy pay your bills, let your daddy do all that. Because I'll be damned if I'm finna take care of you and you call by your daddy name. I'll be damned. I literally be damned. And I mean literally be damned. I ain't just talking about niggas say I'll be damned. I will go to hell before I take care of a woman who gonna live it, be called by her daddy name and my name. Ain't no way. Because that means you don't belong to me. I mean, you need to go back to your daddy house. Because at the end of the day, he say, let everyone who be named after Mashiach depart from iniquity. Because if you don't depart from iniquity, that means you're named after your daddy, the devil. And he ain't taking care of no other man or lady. You want to stay at your daddy house, then stay at your daddy house. But if you're going to be my wife, you're going to have to take on my name. That's the only way that's going to work. And that's what brothers don't understand. It ain't even about can somebody be a natural born Israelite. They want to marry the man. And if they're going to be married to the man, they got to take his name on. That's the name of their husband. How you going to be somebody's wife and you called by your daddy name? I wish I might. You know how disrespectful that is as a man for your old lady to keep her daddy name? Nigga, we fight. I'm dead serious, man. I ain't being funny or nothing, man. No disrespect to nobody, but boy, I'm going to fight. Because you asking me to die for you. You asking me to provide for you. You asking me to do a multitude of things. And you ain't got the common courtesy to be called by my name. I just put that together with the Lord and see how he'll look at that. So you don't want to be called by Adam? So you don't want to be called. See, why is this important, right? Because what did Mashiach always call himself? Son of Adam. And what is he? The second Mashiach. And what is he? Male and female created them. So you still called by Adam. They ain't no getting around it. You know what I'm saying? But that's because these niggas don't believe the word. You understand what I'm saying? I done got off track, but you know what I'm saying? But we going to get it online. You know what I'm saying? Like a second line of New Orleans, man. Come on with it, man. And give me John 2020. You know, second line, you get hype. But guess what? That's a celebration. That's what it said. Well, guess what? Every time that sun go down, we celebrate that man in the grave. Because we know when the sun come up, that mean he rose. But what the book of Lamentations of Jeremiah said is by his mercies that we not consumed. And they faithful from morning to morning. Ain't that what it say? Yeah. Okay. Let the Lord tell you. Come on with it, man.
Verse 24.
Yeah, go on.
But Thomas, one of the 12 called Didymus, was not with them when Yahushua came.
That's right.
The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them,
what did he say?
Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my fingers into the print of the nails,
I will not believe.
And thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe.
That's right.
And after 8 days, again,
how many days?
8 days.
Why is that important? Circumcision. Continue.
And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahusha, the doors being shut.
What he said?
And stood in the midst and said, peace be unto you.
That's right.
Then said Thomas, reach here your finger. Then he said to Thomas, reach here your finger.
That's right.
And behold my hand. Reach here your hand and thrust into my side. And be not faithless.
But what?
But believe.
That's a lot of people call him. You faithless, don't believe. And what did that mean? When he told them to do that, he was basically telling them, believe on my word. And don't do it. Remember what he told a couple of people when they came to him and they asked him to heal him? He said, man, let it be according to your faith. And I done told y'all this before. Man, if the Lord came to you and you asked him for something and he said, let it be according to your faith, what actually would be accomplished? See, that's what I keep telling you, man. You can show up for every Sabbath day. That means absolutely nothing. You can show up for every feast day. That means absolutely nothing. You can pop the Bible over and read it cover to cover. That means absolutely nothing if you don't believe it.
Question: Why do you think Yeshua didn't upbraid Thomas for that unbelief?
Well, he had already. If you look at it, he did them like that in Luke 24. I think just because he was doing this here, because he was upbraiding, came on. All right, then, cuz come over here and stick your hands in my fist. Come on over here and do this here.
Really reprimand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Since that's what you want, come on over here.
Because that's the same type of question I have. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting. Yeah. But like that's the same type of issue I have, and it's not really an issue because I ain't disrespecting the fathers at all. But like with John the Baptist, remember that point? After he got arrested, he said to this man like, "Go ask him, is he really him? You know, or should we wait on another?" Now this is John the Baptist who immersed him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the flesh and blood of man. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that doubt, because I mean, at the end of the day, John the Baptist was a man. Thomas was a man. Remember, you got to go back to John 14 when the Lord said, Thomas, how long have I been with you and you haven't known me? Because he was like, how you gonna show us the way? Because at the end of the day, they was getting a level of something that was hard to fathom. You know what I'm talking about? Which is what we were talking about. He was here, right? I'm a man, because they don't like he look at the preaching in the spirits of prison differently than how we do. Because we look at it like, nah, man, he really went in the grave and dropped word on the boy. You know what I'm saying? Like literally went and dropped word on the boy. Why? And we'll look at it this evening just because why not? Because these men died and they weren't made perfect. They would have been left behind. They didn't get what we got. They didn't get the witness of Mashiach like we get. That's why I say it's better for us to be born after his resurrection, because when he resurrected from the dead, what did he sit down with his apostles and do what no other man had ever done? He pulled back the veil of the mystery and showed them, gave them understanding of the scriptures, and then sent them to go preach the gospel so that men might get eternal life. Our folks, Abraham didn't have that. Isaiah didn't have that. David didn't have that. They all went in the grave believing what Yahuwah promised. But they didn't get that. When David said, I know you won't leave my soul in hell and suffer your Kadash one to see corruption, he didn't know what that meant. He had no idea what that meant. He didn't know a man was going to die and resurrect from the dead. He had no idea. When he said, you're going to be a priest forever after order of Melchizedek, he didn't know what that meant. When Isaiah come and say, how beautiful are the feet of them upon the mountains, that preach the gospel, that bring good tidings, that declare unto Zion, no Elohim has dominion. He had no idea what that meant. When Ezekiel was seeing the vision of Mashiach on the throne coming down from Shamahim, he had no idea what that meant. When Ezekiel was prophesying in Ezekiel 12 about this man carrying this doggone thing on his shoulder, that'd be a sign. He didn't know what that meant. When Ezekiel seen that valley of dry bones getting flesh and tendons, he didn't know what that meant. You know what I'm saying? When Moses is writing, telling these people about Joseph going to a pit where there was no water, these men didn't know what that meant. So you mean to tell me that we would actually believe that our Father in heaven would be so unmerciful that he wouldn't let the word of faith be preached to these godly men so that they could be able to take hold of the same promise that they had took hold to before they went in the grave? See, and we can't say that it ain't no spirits in prison. You know how we can't say that? Because what did Samuel tell Saul? Why you bothering me, bro? Why you came over here to bother me, bro? You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna look at all that, man.
Put your indoor.
You know what I'm saying? When they called Samuel up, he said, "What you bothering me for?"
Yeah, I look at that kind of different too.
You know what I'm saying?
Put your indoor.
What's good, my G?
What's going on, bro? Hey, go, man. Will, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's all good. I mean, we ain't never really spent a whole lot of. It's just a little nuanced things that we would touch on other stuff. It'd be the same like with the parable of Lazarus. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. More so than I don't know what some people look at, but we can look at it as
it ain't like it's wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it's not something that we done spent. I ain't gonna lie to you, over the course of 10 years, like a multitude of time talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Just tip that in there, slide on out. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, man. Where you was at in John, man? It was about what, verse 20?
Verse 26.
John 20 and 26.
And after 8 days, again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahusha, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, "Peace be unto you."
That's right.
Then said he to Thomas,
What he
"Reach
said?
here your finger, and behold my hand.
That's right.
Reach here your hand, and thrust it into my side.
That's right.
Be not faithless,
But what?
believe."
That's right.
And Thomas answered and said unto him,
What he said?
"My Lord and my God." Yahusha said unto him, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed.
But blessed
are they
who have
that have not seen
yet
and yet have believed."
Blessed are those who haven't seen yet believe. Come on back to Peter, man. Where you was at in that, Peter?
Oh no, look, I'm feeling this thing.
I don't care.
I might need some sound bites for the album or something, man. You know what I'm saying?
First
Roach
Peter
going off,
man. Yeah, I mean, you good. You ain't the first one to do it. He the first one to do it. And then he did it next.
You get something.
Did it again.
Nah, that's funny. I remember the first time he emailed me, he said, "Man, you don't care." I'm like, shoot, I ain't never even thought nobody would even. No, that just don't even run across my mind to be like, somebody gonna take this and put it. I didn't care, but I was like, man, you know, a lot of stuff gonna run across my mind. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, "Oh, you ain't never thought about doing this?"
Song or something at the end of a song.
Shoot, boy, these boys done made songs that made it the whole hook.
The whole end of the song.
See, one time he wanted me to go in the lab, man, to say something, but my mind don't work. I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep, man. I had done woke up, they were done. I was on the floor. I was tired. Come on, man. First Peter chapter 1, where you at? Verse 8. Give me 7 one more time.
It said that the trial of your faith being much more precious.
The trial of your faith is much more precious than what?
Of gold.
Of what?
Of gold.
He said, "I counsel you to buy gold and meat tried in the fire." Come on with it.
That perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor.
Ain't that what he told you? He'll take you to the furnace of affliction. Remember what he told his apostles? Are you be able to be baptized with the baptism that I'm baptized with? Because if you go through that fire, praise and honor gonna come with that. That's another reason why a lot of people don't want to believe on Mashiach, because they don't want to go through that fire. They rotten bastards, and we still holding Hebrews 12 and 1, by the way. Continue.
It says, to be found unto praise, honor, and esteem at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach.
That's right.
Whom having not seen ye love, and whom though now ye see him not, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of esteem.
Full of what?
Full of esteem.
Come on.
Receiving the end of your faith.
Receiving what?
The end of your faith.
So the purpose, the completion of your faith, what you gonna get?
Salvation of your soul.
Salvation of what?
Of your soul.
That's what you're supposed to be doing this for. If you ain't doing, that's the end of your faith, is the deliverance of your soul. And if this ain't what you're doing it for, man, you need to eat, drink, for tomorrow you die. Go live your life and go have fun. I've been telling y'all this for a decade, and I'm gonna keep telling you this. If you ain't gonna be all the way in, man, go out here and do what you want to do. Don't go to hell halfway doing it. Oh, I serve you who a little bit, but not all the way. No, man, go on out here and live your life, man. Smoke your weed, hit the hoes, do whatever it is that you like to do, man. You know what I'm talking about? Drink your alcohol, use your drugs, go to your clubs, do all. If you're gonna go to hell doing what you like. Well, you might have, it don't make no sense to go to hell halfway playing. What that nigga Prodigy said, ain't no such thing as halfway saints, man. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Stop playing with it, man. You know, because at the end of the day, you would be shook if your faith ain't strong. Ain't that what the book say? Those who are solid, they can't be moved. I would have said in Psalms, then. So that means you shook. So when the beast come doing all these signs and wonders, talking about, hey man, give me your birthright for a pot of beans, you shook. You ready to give it to him. I need to go to work, master. See, y'all think this stuff they doing over here now is something. Man, that jump with Kyrie, man, if you fell for that jump for Kyrie, man, I got some rocks, man. I'm going to go to my holler at my peoples, man, I know they still sell dope, and I'm going to get it from them, and I'm going to give it to you so you can smoke it. If you thought that was real persecution. Right. If you thought they were really, you can't be you know how hypocritical Mo Hebrews is, man, and why they make me sick. Because you niggas will sit out here all day long and say these people sold to the Illuminati, they sold to the devil. Minute one of these pussy niggas say something you like. Now you done threw all that out the window, and they a freedom fighter, and they standing up for black people. You niggas squares, cowards, goofies, and lames. I wouldn't listen to none of you niggas, man. And then you niggas say you were street niggas. I use a street nigga falling for that.
Prime example. Bishop Nathaniel with what's his name? Jason Whitlock.
Yeah.
You see that interview?
Oh, I didn't even know he went on Whitlock.
Oh, bro, about an hour something long, bro.
I seen a little bit of it.
I didn't even know he went on Whitlock. See, look here, right?
As much drama we gave Jason Whitlock, look at them comments.
Now he ain't a Sambo no. But see, look here, I ain't never had no problem with Jason Whitlock. I hold Jason Whitlock like my man Chronicles of Judah look at him. When he swing and miss, he swing and miss. But when he hit, he hit. And the one thing that Jason Whitlock always stood for was being a man. Them niggas can say whatever they want to say about him. And sometimes what it is one thing with niggas, man, is niggas don't like to get called out when they wrong. Because a lot of these niggas be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a problem with what Whitlock said about Kobe with that rape case. He ain't necessarily nigga say he raped the chick, but you put yourself in a bad position to make yourself look stupid. And he called him out for it. Or niggas feel, or they were like, oh, now he being phony because he died. Just because the man was critical of what he did in his sport, don't mean he had a problem with him as a man. What's wrong with you niggas?
And they all in the comments just backtracking. And
he doing this of the Lord.
Right. Thank you for having President Nathaniel on. The world needed to hear this. Nigga, what?
Man, guess what though? Jason Whitlock ain't got no platform like he used to have. That man on YouTube and podcasting, man, they got rid. He did that for a reason. I ain't gonna take that from him. He said, I'd rather make myself than to let Mr. Charlie make. He had enough belief in himself to say, I'll go do what Stephen A. Smith won't do. I'll go over here and take my own audience and do my own thing and stand on my own versus depending on Mr. Charlie. So I respect him for that as a man. Stand on my own versus depending on Mr. Charlie. So I respect him for that as a man. You know what I mean? Because he could have.
He wasn't really too biased.
I mean, because he a man.
So he ain't flipped to Nathaniel's frame of thought.
Yeah, he just gonna hear you out.
I don't think like that.
Yeah, he just gonna hear you out. He gonna let you say what you gotta say. If he disagree, he gonna tell you why he disagree. But see, you know why? And everyone is here because unfortunately, as black men, we have a problem with other men who don't agree with us. That's very feminine. Yeah. You should be able to have a conversation with another man who don't agree with you, and it don't be no pressure, no beef when you walk away from that man. And if you ain't able to do that, we were talking about this other day with the video. We talking about when the two dudes were fighting in traffic. I was thinking about what Charleston White said, which I agree with. Little boys got to throw hands to settle a dispute. Grown men should be able to have a conversation. Two grown men should not get to the point where they feel like we got to fight to get some tension off and then shake hands afterwards. That means we still thinking like boys.
Low vibration.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that. You just immature. Because that's what you did when you was 10, 11, 12. You fought your homeboy and then y'all went and sat down and played video games later. A 30, 35, 40, 45-year-old man shouldn't get to no point to where he can't solve a dispute with another man by throwing hands and now we feel better about it later. You too grown for that. You too grown for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's why people.
I ain't talking about niggas in their 20s.
Felt better.
Like you too.
That's what we need to do, bro.
No. The only reason, like I said, he put it in words that I wouldn't have framed it, but he like I said, because when you look at it, right, and with power, they go to war. They ain't throwing no hands. Somebody finna die. A whole bunch of people finna die. But when you look at it, grown men should be able to settle disputes with words. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't get to a meeting of mind with words, then you should just be able to part ways. It should never get. I'm talking about a grown man. I ain't talking about a young man. I ain't talking about a nigga in their 20s. I ain't talking about a nigga in their teens. I ain't talking about pre-adolescence. I'm talking about a grown man. Because I mentioned this the other day. Truth be told, man, you hit middle age about 30, 35. You ain't living to be 100. You ain't living to be 80. You know what I'm saying? The life expectancy of a black man is about 62 to 65 years old. So you hit middle age at 30. You know what I'm talking about? So at 30, you're supposed to be moving and thinking as a grown man because half your life expectancy has been met. You know what I'm talking about? So if you 30 years old, talking about I got to settle disputes with my hands, you ain't still thinking like a man, you still thinking like a boy. You know what I'm talking about? That means your vernacular, your wisdom, your skill, your intelligence, and your diplomacy is not where it needs to be for a grown man. That's what that means.
And sometimes, you know, yes.
I mean, no.
Nehemiah told him, you come up
see, that's different. That's different. Because y'all were violating. Right, you're doing something you know you ain't got no business doing. You bring your funky behind around here one more time, I'm going to knock you out.
He was doing the work too.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about we got a disagreement. Grown men, especially grown men who say they friends, family, love each other and all that, it should never get to the point that we got to lay hands on each other. Because if it get to that point, that means there was underlying animosity there that ain't been dealt with, it been brewed over, and you use this as an excuse to assault your brother. It should never get to no point that you got to lay your hands on somebody you love out words. Not no grown man.
I mean, it's right. It's some animosity there. That no, that
Shalom, bro.
Let go, or you some unforgiving. Yeah. Sure.
What the book say? Saul answer, turn away wrath. He said, you supposed to win your brother. I'm just talking about, he said, anger rests in the bosom of fools. He said, be angry and sin not. If we say especially if we say we going to be godly men, then it should never get to that point. If it got that heated, that means it's just time for somebody to go over here, somebody to go over there. All niggas relax. Because he said, don't let the sun go down upon your wrath and then come talk about this later. When you got to clear it.
We know pass you death from the life.
Yeah. That's what he said.
We love each other.
I'm just telling you what the book say. You gotta put that. I keep telling y'all, leave that nigga stuff behind. That nigga stuff don't mix with heaven. That's why he gotta burn it up. Because you can't bring that nigga stuff with you. You can't bring that nigga stuff with you, man. I ain't worried about them sex bots, man. I ain't gonna block them. They can get the word too. They can put all them sex bots on there. You get the word too, because you going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? I don't block nobody. They can all get served. I don't block nobody on Facebook, Instagram. You get this book. All of them get it. On here, you know what I'm talking about? You came in the wrong room. You understand me? Come on, bro. What verse you at, my G?
Yeah, man.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 10.
It said, with salvation, the prophets have inquired and searched diligently.
They did what?
Inquired and searched diligently.
They did what?
Inquired and searched diligently.
Come on with it.
Whom prophesied of grace unto you. It says, searching what or what manner of time the Ruach of the Mashiach which was in them.
See how they wanted to know when this was going to happen? Read it again.
It says, searching of what or what manner of time the Ruach of the Mashiach which was in them did signify. When it testified beforehand the sufferings
of the what? Of the sufferings of the Mashiach.
That the esteem that should follow. And the esteem that should follow.
So they didn't know. So let's come back to Genesis 1:1, man. Let me get to this part with the firmament, man. Let you who will be esteemed. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all don't pay me no mind, man. We just walking with a slow burn, man. Y'all know what it was like when your mama had them beans on the stove. Well, y'all know, boy, I ain't had a scully on my head since 2012, 11. Welcome to the trip. I told Quad with Trippin', I say, man, I ain't had a hoodie in damn near 10 years. I only bought that jacket because one day it got to be 20 degrees, man. I said, let me go ahead and get one. Yeah, man, it was cold one day, man. It was a little break. It can get to 20 now. Don't get it twisted. It don't happen as much. In the 90s, it was cold all the time. Oh, no. It was cold there. You know what I'm saying? Fair came, temperature dropped, and February and January were brick. You know what I'm saying? All the time. When I was a child. Everyone. You know what I'm saying? I saw it change. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. The case that I caught while I went to prison, I had on an authentic Steve Breaston, Michigan jersey on. And I had a jacket on that day. But I had on shorts. I didn't really need a jacket. You know what I'm talking about? Because I was really using it to carry my dough. But it was hot as hell. And it was in December. You know what I'm talking about? It was 2004. And I don't remember after 2004 it being cold in Northeast Florida ever again on a regular basis. Right now, well, it's 80 degrees back home right now.
Damn, great right there.
Oh, I'm absolutely outstanding. You know what I'm talking about? Give thanks to the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Now, this right here, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I know y'all like this here, you probably like, this ain't really cold us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This would really be like, hey, man, nigga had a jacket on, maybe the hoodie, and if we was out east, nigga had a barrel.
Next month coming now.
You know what I'm saying?
Next month coming.
No, I'm just saying, because the cold that y'all accustomed to, it ain't out there. So we can deal with that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But when this nigga talking about days when he had to thaw his feet out, I'd have moved.
I've been here like 2 years. I was in LA 7 years, so I'm still getting used to this. I was in the sunshine, man. So it's like, bruh. And then around this time, when it get like cold, December, January, February, well, them 3 months.
Yeah, I won't.
You gotta keep your mind strong, boy. Like depression to creep up on you, boy.
Oh, I told that nigga that when we got here. It don't look sad out here. I don't even got no sun. At least when it be 40 degrees, what we had, nigga, we got the sun. Y'all don't even got no sunlight.
It's like you say, the people energy be like being in LA 7 years. Like my wife from LA, so her first time dealing with Detroit, Michigan people. She was like, these people crazy as hell. Like they just be mad. You know what I'm saying? Just mad for no reason.
Nigga, no sunlight out here.
Mad.
Come on, man. Genesis 1:1. Y'all ain't got no sunlight. You got sunlight, everything all right.
Right.
When it's dreary outside, you like, is the sun even out here? You sad. I'm gonna shoot this nigga over here.
Everybody buy me fish.
Yeah. Can't think straight. Come on, man. Genesis 1:1.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth.
Remember, right? We dealt with without form and void. That means the world was full of confusion and chaos and formlessness. So when we turn around, right, give me Matthew 24 and by 12. Stay where you're at, because I'm going to move a little swift. I know I mentioned Hebrew 12:1. Grab that Hebrew 12:1 real swift. I don't know what it was referring to, why I called for it, but Lord willing, it'll come to mind.
It said, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Because what?
Because iniquity shall abound.
So that would mean that the world is full of chaos. Oh, that's what it was. We was in 1 Corinthians 14. It said that Elohim is not the author of confusion. That confusion translates to disorder. See, one of the biggest problems in this society is people are disorderly. And when I'm talking about disorderly, you don't want no structure. You know what I'm talking about? When you don't want structure, that means you don't want to follow no rules. Because before you can get to following rules, you need structure. So the structure for us is building on the foundation of faith, which is in Yahushua HaMashiach, which the prophets diligently inquired to seek into and never knew. See, that's our structure. See, our structure is not the law. Our structure is the faith in Mashiach, which we can find in the law. And then because we find that in the law, that strengthens us to keep the law. You understand what I'm telling you? See, a lot of people put the focus on the law. We got to focus on that because they don't even take no focus on not being a dirty, low-down, nasty nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling y'all this for years, man. The people who focus on the law the most is the niggas who don't do it. So when you come at me with law first, I ain't gonna lie to you. I know you an evil bastard. I ain't gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But I know that.
Like you know your nationality? That's what that is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not being serious. Like, yeah, bro, you know we got to keep these law. Woo, woo, woo. See, I already know you don't believe the word. So I already know that you speak of the law, but you don't keep it. Like Mashiach say, you want to stone me about the law, but nigga, you don't keep it. Because he said Moses circumcised a man on the Sabbath, and you know niggas ain't say nothing. But I heal a man on the Sabbath, you want to kill. So the thing turns out, he was like, y'all some real pussy niggas. Y'all some real backwards, you know what I'm talking about? Type, what's wrong with you niggas, man? Because you niggas don't really stand for this, because you don't really care about this man who over here suffering. You don't care about this man who over here in his sins. You don't really care about none of that. You just want to flex, use a goofy. You know what I'm saying? And why? Because they didn't want the structure, because you want attention. I keep telling y'all for years, man. Any man who wants attention got a feminine heart. If you out here looking for attention, you need to sit down and pee, man. Get you some tampon, get you some Midol, get you some heels, you know what I'm saying? Get you some nice boy shorts, you know what I'm saying? Some panties that make you feel good on the inside, because that's what you is. You's a woman, you's a man with a woman's heart. Can't do. Why you think all these niggas be complaining about these Hebrew women won't submit to them? Because you's a pussy. And you know you want. Because you think you trying to gorilla pimp on the hoe. Man, we ain't got to do all that, man. I'm saying your pimping should be tight that when she come in your presence, she don't want to be nowhere else but with you. I shouldn't have to do all that. That's why Yahuwah say Yahuwah wants willing participants, not prisoners, not hostages. He wants volunteers, not hostages. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're gonna get down with this pimping, or you gonna move on. Because remember, we was in the room with, like I said, Plain Jane. No, I told him this here. I ain't compromising. And when I say that, I mean I'm not compromising the standard. I'm not compromising what I want, because Yahuwah don't. And if I'm supposed to be in his image to my wife, then why would I do that? Because now that's telling her Yahuwah do it. I ain't compromising nothing. You know why brother compromise? Because you ain't got no standard. So you don't do this, and she could do that, and she could do this, and she could do that. You can do that, but you're not gonna do it here. And see, unfortunately, when a lot of women hear that, they thinking that you attacking them. Baby, I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with you. That's just not a good fit for me. You ever bought some shoes didn't fit right? You put them back on the shelf. You didn't look at them shoes and say, you're a masculine shoe. You're a horrid shoe. You didn't fit my foot right. That's just not a good fit for me. I need another pair. That's all that is. Baby, it might be a man that works for him. That don't work for me. But when people hear that, they take it as a personal shot or rejection, because you remember what I've been telling y'all for years. Y'all know what Nehemiah 6 say. What he told them people? He said, well, I'm doing a great work. What I look like coming down under you? You gonna come up here to me? You gonna come up here to me? I'm not coming down there. See, people look at that, oh, where's the grace? Where's the mercy? With Yahuwah? Because I'm not obligated to lower myself to make you feel better about yourself. That's not my responsibility.
Indeed. If people want to drag you down, if you do that, then
hey, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something real, man. Because, you know, I catch a lot of flack from people about this type of stuff, man. But you know what? I don't give a damn. I done told people, be like, everybody sin, you know what I tell them? Speak for yourself. Because you ain't finna put death on me. I want y'all to understand something. When people calling you a sinner, they saying death on you. And you proud to be dead.
Calling y'all a liar.
And they calling him a liar. And they saying they a son or daughter of the devil. Because he that commits sin is of the devil. You are of your father the devil. And the lust of your father you will do. Man, you ain't gonna don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I ain't with that. Don't put that on me. You know what I'm saying? Don't put that on me. But I'm just telling you, I'm trying to shift your mindset. Because you know why you ain't gonna sin? Because you came to the structure. And therefore you can't, because the earth was without form and void. Right. So that means the earth was full of confusion, chaos, and sin. We read it in Genesis 6. He said the earth was full of wickedness, and the thoughts of man's heart was evil continually. So the earth was without form and void. And what he had to do, he had to kill everybody. That's what he gonna do when he come back here. Shalom, Brother Riddle. That's why that's in there. Because he got to do the same thing again. It's confusion and disorder. And I got to get rid of that, especially if he going to come dwell with you. You know what Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 4 say? His eyes are too pure to look upon evil. You think this man going to be dwelling on earth in the presence of wicked men? You are so rabbit mind. You know what I'm saying? I tell it this Wednesday, and I'm going to say it again. Let me tell you something, man. You don't know how long you got to be here. Like I said, right? Nigga on the airplane, it's by the grace of the Lord that plane don't fall out the sky. I was telling my old lady earlier, it is amazing how many flights that actually fly in this country that you don't hear about as many planes crashing.
Oh, for sure. There's a whole network up there.
We witnessed the crash.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Today.
Watched it.
He was on the phone with me where if I would have just did a normal turnout, God would have took me out.
And these niggas flying out of numerous airports.
Every day.
I saw a dude land on Telegraph right there too. Right down the street.
Yeah. Body machinery to fail.
This street right here, this last man, we coming up Lawson. A sister was sitting in the middle of the street, dog, and the car just came in. Rolled her over.
And let me tell you something, man. One day I was on the phone with Quad, 2015, dropping word on him. Watch the nigga die right in front of my face. Nigga got smacked on a motorcycle. I'm like, I said, damn, boy, that nigga in the middle of the street. Damn. You know what I'm talking about? You understand me? So you ain't got no what about the grace? Nigga, the grace is that he resurrected from the dead, boy. You better get it together. That man say, boy, your life is but a vapor. And don't boast on tomorrow. He said, don't even think about tomorrow, because tomorrow gonna take care of itself and the evil thereof. Who told you gonna live tomorrow? Who told you gonna live tomorrow to get that sin right? Who told you that? Ain't nobody told you that. You telling yourself that, which means you boasting against God. But see, when a nigga like me come around and say that, I'm the bad guy. But get what? I don't give a damn. Because I ain't here to be liked by men. I'm here to be a servant of the child. I don't give a damn who don't like me. I ain't care who like me before the word. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care about what I'm going to do with what you think about me. They ain't going to pay none of my bills, nigga. They ain't going to get me in the man kingdom either, so I don't give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? All I need is a few real niggas with me, man. You know that what Trick Daddy said back in the day. You know what I'm talking about? That's all I need. All I need is a few real niggas with me. I don't need everybody like me, man. You know what I'm saying? You know why niggas need everybody to like them? Got the heart of a woman.
If you look at the house, he had 12 homies. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even a lot compared to.
He had a layup. Yeah, I ain't gonna say he had a layup because he had a few more. Because remember, he got Matthias. See, we don't talk about that. See, he got 12 that he sent out to be ambassadors. But he had some real ones riding with him, whose names you don't know. Male and female. You know what I'm talking about? See, a lot of people look at the females and think they're irrelevant. They did their job. That man needed his feet washed, they washed it.
They did great work.
You know what I'm talking about? That man needed clothing, they got it. He needed food, they fed him. But see, a lot of women in this day and time, they don't think that's a great work because she got the heart of a man. She want to get on the battlefield and be seen. But baby, you ain't fit for battle. You ain't fit for it. You know why? It's the same thing I heard brothers talking about in the military. You got to compromise military standards to let women be on the battlefield. In order to preach the word, you got to compromise the standard to let a woman do it. That's the only way she can do it. You're going to have to compromise the standard. So when you come around and say, I ain't going to compromise the standard, then it's a problem. I ain't compromising the standard to make you feel good. This is the sad part. We've been talking about this many times over the years, man. Why y'all think it's not a big deal to feed a saint? Don't you know this man say you'll get the reward of a prophet if you don't bring but a man of cold water in a prophet's name? Come on, man. Doggone. Man, this woman got a memorial, and all she did was put ointment on his body, preparing for his burial. You know who she is. You know who Mary is because she washed his feet with her tears and dried them with her hair. She ain't preached no word. She didn't feel she had to be in front of no bunch of men doing this, that, and the third. She got a memorial for doing that. Dorcas got a memorial for tending to the saints. Got a memorial for protecting the saints. This is what she got a memorial for. But you don't look at that as a great work because you want to be seen. You a weirdo. And I'm talking about that's for men too. That's for men too. Man, so what? Let me tell you something, man. If the Lord appointed a nigga that I had to sit down here and I needed to whip up food for saints, then it's going to get whipped. I got to be like, I got to preach too. Shoot, I got to do, brother. Power behind out of here, nigga. He told you to feed them people, so feed them. You think he going to look at you and say, I'm going to give him an extra crown because he preached? No. He said, now is it feeding every homeless person or homeless in the body? Let me tell you something real, right? Ain't nothing wrong with feeding the homeless. That's good. It's better to feed a poor saint. Feeding a poor sinner is good. Feeding a poor saint is better. He said to do good unto all men, especially those of the household of the faith. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's where we get in the word and we get it twisted. Yes, ma'am? And that's where we get it twisted. Right? Like,
you say that?
Like we just focus on, oh, I'm doing this for the homeless, but this nigga's in the word, you don't do nothing for him. You don't do nothing for him.
Because people be like, oh, God got it. God gonna put it all on God, but God worked through you.
Nah, he put it on you, nigga. Because he said if your brother was destitute, go feed him. That's what he told you to do. So he put it on you. So if you a wicked bastard say it's in God's hands, no, he put it in your hands, you bastard, you. You're uncompassionate, selfish, inconsiderate, rotten, no good man. You know what I'm saying? We don't think about none of that stuff, man. You know what a lot of bruisers do? We'll sit down and talk about our brother in decay instead of getting him out of decay. That ain't righteous. Oh, that nigga broke. Well, if you got some money, why you ain't hit him off then if you know he was broke? What the hell you telling me, folk? Nigga, go help him out. I don't want to hear that dumb nigga. I'm post.
That's money job.
Well,
in the right direction.
You said decay. Oh, that's some different.
I'm just mentioning what's in Leviticus.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're mentioning.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all the things about this ain't gonna be under that new heaven. Because that's not righteousness what we're talking about. That's not righteousness, bro. Oh yeah, man. Anybody who tell you, Jane, that you can't live without sin, that nigga's not of God. Anybody who tell you that is not of God. And since you want confirmation, you ain't gonna get confirmation because I'm talking about it. I'm gonna give you some book for it. Luke 6:39, 1 John 3:8, Psalms 119:1. Come on with it, man.
Luke 6:39.
Luke 6:39. Listen to it.
And he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the
You're
pit?
going to hell.
The disciple is not above his master.
The disciple's not what?
It's not above his master.
It's not what?
It's not above his master.
And everyone,
but everyone that is perfect
shall be
as his master.
That can't say everybody that's gonna be perfect gonna be as his master. That's what the Lord said. That ain't what I said. That's what the Lord said. 1 John 3:8.
It says, he that committed sin is of the devil.
If you commit sin, you are who?
Of the devil.
You are who?
Of the devil.
If you commit sin, you are Yahuwah.
You are of the devil.
If you commit sin, you are heaven.
You are of the devil.
If you commit sin, you are righteous.
You are of the devil.
So if you're sinning, you are the devil.
For the devil sinned from the beginning.
He sinned from the start.
For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifest.
That he might do what?
Destroy the works of the devil.
That's right.
Whosoever is born of Elohim
does not do what?
Sin.
If you're born of the word, you don't commit sin. You know why? Because the word ain't sin.
I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
Hebrews 10:26. Somebody open that up.
We're going to get it. Come on with it. Finish that for him.
For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of Elohim.
He can't sin because he what?
Born of Elohim.
He can't sin because he what?
Born of Elohim.
He said you must be born again. Peter said you got to be born an incorruptible seed, not corruptible seed. The word is not corruptible. So if the seed is the word of Elohim, if you're born of the word, that means you incorruptible, because the young man in Job told you, far be it for Elohim to commit sin. So when you say you got the spirit of God in you and you commit sin, you saying God is sinner. You ought to go to hell. You just blaspheme this man's name by saying he committed iniquity. You wicked bastard. And we let that junk slide. You know why we let it slide? Because we sinning right along with him. So we don't want to say nothing. Let me tell you something, man. It ain't hard not to sin. Guess what? Some of y'all used to smoke cigarettes, and guess what happened one day? One day you decided to be disciplined enough to stop. Some of you used to drink. I ain't even talking about even if no word was involved. You just said, I ain't smoking cigarettes no more. And I'm going to do what's necessary to not smoke. Some people used to beat their meat, and one day they say, you know what? I ain't going to keep whipping myself like this. I ain't going to touch that lotion. You know what I'm talking about?
Real shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. I'm trying to tell stuff that I know regular, everyday people deal with, right?
Talk that talk.
You know, some people, they used to like this here, boy, boy, porn, I'm there. You know what I'm talking about? Some people used to be like this here, yak, vodka, and you say, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. And I'm going to be disciplined enough not to do it. And you didn't focus on, you can't not sin every day. You just said, I ain't going to drink today. And then I ain't going to drink tomorrow. And then I ain't going to drink the next day. And then before you know it, you don't think about drinking no more because it's not an issue. So when it comes to sin, if you take the word and you mortify your members, you ain't, see, I done told you before, Shiach wasn't wrestling with the stuff that we be wrestling with because he didn't have the lust that you have.
I got something I want to say.
Go ahead.
As a testimonial to that. I just got out of the hospital today. My
That's
man right there. The dude next to me, the nurse asked him, how many beers do you drink a day? This man said 10 to 12 beers a day. I said, we in the hospital and you here because you could not drink 10 to 12 beers a day. So you know what his problem is. Why he's sitting in there.
Yeah, the alcoholic seizure.
I'm there for something I don't know what's going on. But yours could be prevented.
You ever seen a man have an alcoholic seizure? I've been locked up with men who drank so much beer that their body went into seizure mode because they couldn't get no alcohol.
10 to 12 a day.
Hold on, let me see
How
this.
you do that?
Jane said this guy I was dating said that to me. This is my confirmation to walk away. We literally, oh yeah, that nigga of the devil. Yeah, go ahead, put your good shoes on. You know what I'm saying? Your comfortable shoes. Don't put your heels on because you can't walk too far with no heels on. Put your nice, comfortable trainers on and run. Because that nigga ain't of the Lord. Let me tell y'all something, man. It's a lot of things Yahuwah gonna tell you. And you not being able to stop sinning ain't one of them. Because all sin means to transgress the law. What's transgression by definition? Rebellion. I just want y'all to understand that transgression in Hebrew defines to rebellion. So rebellion is a conscious decision. So the same way you can consciously choose to rebel, you can consciously choose to obey. Don't let nobody tell you no. And y'all know I've been preaching the same thing for 13 years. Well, I ain't gonna say 13, but at least in this for 10 years. I ain't never said nothing different. Anybody who know me, I ain't never said nothing different. Ain't gonna say nothing different. If I do, I ought to go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? I remember somebody told me, they said, well, even though you preaching this here, you got room to sin. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't even know why you would think. Don't you know in Ezekiel 33, he said, man, if you trust your own righteousness and commit sin, none of the righteousness you did will be remembered. You're going to die for that? That's what the man said. See, I read that and I understood exactly what he said. Oh, so you think because you had a good 10-year run and you trusted because you had a 10-year run, you can slide over here and do this and be good. He said, nigga, I'm going to kill you, as he should. As he should. I ain't got no problem with it. I deem that as to be a real man. You know what I'm saying? Because you sized me and thought, because you did all this good stuff over here, I let you slide one time with the one time. No, I'm going to slide y'all right.
You ain't gonna be a respected person.
I'm going to slide y'all right.
You're the only one good anyway.
No doubt. But see, I'm just talking about the way that men think. Men think that I can go over here and because I've been good all this time, I can trust because I've been good. Because that's what it said in Ezekiel 33. You trust in your righteousness. You trust because you've been keeping the law, because the righteousness of faith hadn't been revealed yet. So when he say trust into your righteousness, you trust into your righteousness of the law. But what did Moses tell you? All those that do the law, you got to keep everything in it. So you can't trust to be like, okay, I got that. See, that's where the great come in that way. He said, okay, brethren, don't sin. But if you do sin, you got an advocate.
You're going to be judged according to.
You know what I'm saying? But what he's telling you is, all right, if you get out of pocket, you got an advocate. I ain't saying he can speak up on your behalf. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people get the game twisted at, and they feel like if I sin, he gonna speak up on my behalf every time. Who told you that? That man showed mercy on who he want to show mercy on. See, he can speak up on the behalf of who he want to. He don't have to. And that's where we get the game twisted at. Yeah, he spoke up on David's behalf, but he didn't for Saul. He didn't for Nabal either. Mm-hmm. He didn't for Asa, the king of Judah either. Mm. He didn't do it for Ahab either. Mm. He did it for Hezekiah. So remember, he told you that in his law. I show mercy who I want to show it to. He showed it to Solomon. Because, we done had a conversation. Brother thinks Solomon going to hell, but they don't read the text. He said, I'll never take my mercy from Solomon like I did from Saul. See, people don't understand when he take his mercy away, that means he done cast you off. You've been rejected. You reprobate. See, this what I mean by sometimes we look at the text, but you don't know Yahuwah, so you don't pay attention to how he operates. So when you see he cut Saul off, he said he didn't answer him by Urim and Thummim. He didn't deal. He saw an evil spirit between him. He ain't fool with him no more. When he came and promised David that his son would sit on the throne, he made it explicitly known, I will not take my mercy from him like I took it from Saul. He gave his word on that. You know what I'm talking about? He said, I'm not going to do that to your son because that's your son. That's what you ain't even, this is what brother don't understand. Solomon gets spared because of his dad, not because of him. He said, I ain't going to take all the tribes from him for David, my servant's sake. That's what he told Solomon, didn't he? So it's because of David. Because Solomon wasn't born yet. He said, man, I'm not going to take my mercy from your boy. I ain't going to do it. So there ain't nothing else to discuss. If the mercy of Elohim's still there, guess what that means? That means forgiveness is there. And if forgiveness is there, that means remission of sins is there. If remission of sins is there, that's where you're going to see Solomon at. This ain't hard to understand. You ain't got to read nothing extra into it. Know your God. It's very simple. But a nigga like Saul's done. I remember brother asked that, you think Saul going to hell, boy? He cut Saul off. He cut him off. You know why? Because people don't believe you who will cut people off. But when Yahuwah cut you off, he's done with you. Remember, he cut Esau off. Esau came with all them tears. What he got? Nothing. Nothing.
Crying ain't gonna help.
Listen, right? Praise Yahuwah, Jay. This is why I be telling y'all this stuff, right? Because I want you to understand, like, well, you don't want to get up. When that man say, I swear in my wrath that none of y'all will enter into my rest, all them niggas going to hell. Every single solitary person in the wilderness that he say he swore in his wrath, that you think they gonna get in his kingdom and they ain't getting his land? You think if they didn't get the inheritance of the first covenant, you think they gonna get the second? Well, you smoking crack.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying this, John, to be, you know what I'm saying, crass. I'm saying it for you to understand. Once he done with you, he done with you. And ain't nothing else to talk about. And you know what the hard part is? That you could be walking around dealing with the word and he done cut you off. You know what I'm saying? Saul was still walking around as king and he was cut off. Ahab was still walking around as king and he was cut off. You understand? But I'm going to be honest with you. You know when you get cut off because all the lust and your desires and all the lies that you want to believe in, you believe in them and you go after your lust. See, you know when you cut off. You just try to convince yourself that you're not. You know how you know? Because you're out here doing stuff you ain't got no business. And you delight in it. You ain't bothered. You ain't bothered. When it bothering you, you knowing this man troubling your spirit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get your attention. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself together, boy, before I be done with you now. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Hebrews 12:1.
Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses.
That's right. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Back me up to about the last 4 verses of Hebrews 11 and then roll into verse 1. But when you get to verse 1, call out Hebrews 12:1.
Yes, sir.
What verse you in?
37.
Hebrews 11 and 37.
They were stoned. They were sawn asunder.
That's right.
And were tempted.
That's right.
Were slain with the sword.
Slain with the sword.
They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin.
That's right.
Being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not
worthy. He said the
worthy.
world wasn't worthy to eat men.
They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and in caves of the earth.
That's right.
And these all, having attained a good report.
Attained a what?
A good report.
A good what?
A good report.
Did not what?
Through faith, receive not the promise.
They ain't get the promise of the Son of God. Listen to it.
Elohim having provided some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect.
See that? He had to do something so those who weren't with us could be made perfect with us, because they didn't get what we got. That's why he had to preach to the spirits in prison. They didn't get what we got. Remember, and in this Hebrews 11, he talking about Abraham, he talking about Isaac, he talking about Jacob, he talking about David, he talking about Samson, he talking about Jephthah, he talking about Moses. None of these men received the eternal Ruach HaKodesh. The Ruach was on them. They didn't receive that. He said, I'm going to make a new covenant with you, not like the covenant I made with your fathers when they came out of Egypt. So all those men we mentioned, they ain't know nothing about that. That covenant he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that ain't got nothing to do with what he said in Jeremiah, what he was going to make. They ain't get what we got. They ain't get no law written on their hearts and in their minds, and your iniquities and sins I won't remember no more. That's why I laugh at niggas when they say the new covenant ain't in effect. That means you going to hell, nigga. Your sins ain't forgiven, jackass. You around here telling people they still in their sins. That mean I know God ain't sent you to teach no word. You a special type of stupid. Nigga, I ain't listening to you. Only thing is, I don't have to say this out loud. When I hear them, I know you stupid. I'm not going back. See, this is what a lot of brutes, they feel like they got to rebuke every bad doctrine. I ain't got to rebuke nothing. I know God ain't with you. Ain't no word in you. I'm going over here.
That's draining, man.
It ain't even draining. I'm so confident in what I'm in that I'm going to let you stay where you at. Why? Because the Lord said, leave them alone. And if they be blind leaders of the blind, they all going to fall in the ditch. Contrary to popular belief, you can't save everybody. You can't make straight what Elohim made crooked. Hold on. I didn't get Psalms 119 and 1. Run that for me. Let me see what Jane got for me. She said she be looking at people like how you comfortable with sin. Even if you sin and you trying to get righteous, I feel like you should delete. You should. It should be godly sorrow. But you know why people don't feel bad about committing sin? Because they don't believe the word. And when I say they don't believe the word, not because of the consequence of sin, they don't got respect for the reward. They don't actually believe that there's a reward to be had. See, I told you, right? I seen my homegirl who I sold this to yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I remember I told her I first done in the word, and I said, yeah, man, I be feeling good. You know what I'm saying? She say, why? I say, man, I read that Micah 7, man. He say he gonna leave my enemies like mine in the street and gonna kill them all dead. So I ain't really concerned about what these people got going on. He said he gonna kill them. He said, well, you can't feel that way. I say, lying to me. I said, these people walking around here talking about where my God at and wearing out the saints. And he told me he gonna kill these people and leave them like dirt in the street. I say, praise be to God. I can go to sleep good at night. I ain't got to worry about no recompense. That nigga died. She looking at me like, how could you think that? What you mean?
Confidence in the word.
But it's just a fact of most of our people, you looking at how we getting done, whether we in the word or not in the word. That junk bother you. You wonder, man, when these people gonna get they do. He said, man, you gonna wash your feet in their blood that you might know it's a reward for the righteous. I can go to sleep at night good. I'm gonna wash my feet in their blood. Lord allow. I'm gonna wash it good. So I'm gonna get it before the toes. No. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna make sure my feet be good. I'm gonna clean them good. I'm gonna clean them good with your blood, nigga. That man told you in Psalms 149, you'll have the high praises of Elohim in your mouth and a two-edged sword in your hand to execute the judgments written. I sleep good. I ain't got to worry about that. The Lord came back around and say, he said, will he not avenge them? He said, nevertheless, I'll avenge them speedily. He said, but nevertheless, when the son of Adam come, will he find faith on the earth? Well, if you're telling me you're going to kill these niggas quick, well, I can rest easy. I ain't got to be worried about that. I ain't got to tell you, oh, I'm going to kill you, wicked nations. I already know he going to kill you. Shoot, nigga, you know it. So I ain't got to worry about it. I speak it when he put it in my mouth to speak. You understand? But outside of that, I ain't concerned with that. And I feel the need to tell everybody, the white man gonna be killed. Shoot, nigga, if you sinning, you dying with it.
Right. Keep it balanced.
I ain't got to keep it balanced. I'm telling you, going to hell. You wicked, your mammy wicked, your daddy wicked, your dog wicked, your bastard baby wicked. How my baby wicked? Because you had him, nigga. Because the children of the wicked made for the sword. Your baby was made to be killed. You wicked bastard Jew. How could God kill babies? Because he can, nigga. That's how. You got a problem with it? Talk to him when you see him. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling people that for years. You got a problem with it, right quality control. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got no problem with it. But it ain't about no battle. It ain't about that. It's just as simple as, hey, man, this is what I'm on, man. Play with me if you want. This is what I'm on. Your children righteous. You raise your offspring to be righteous, they good. But guess what? If you wicked, I'm going to make sure the man say, but this is what I mean by pay attention to the text, how he operate. He said, I punish you the third and fourth generation. So what your children get, you brought that on them. You made a conscious decision to make decisions that would negatively affect your children. And you want to blame Yahuwah for what you chose to do to negatively affect your children. Don't blame him, blame yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Because he done already told you what type of time he on. Because he say, I show mercy to thousands of them who keep my commandment. Didn't all your children get spared in Egypt when he spared your children from them plagues? Well, them children got spared because you did what he told you. You know what I'm talking about?
Let the blood be on us and our children.
They put that on their children. You put that on your children. Come on, man. Let me see what she say. She always trying to save others only to the detriment of my own soul. But see, that's because you a woman. So I'm saying, because as a woman, when they hear stuff, it's the care in a woman of, baby, don't burn your hand on the stove. Baby, don't run out there in the street and get hit by a car. So when you, and it ain't got to necessarily be a stranger, but if a woman got some type of care or concern for you, she feel it's necessary to show that nurturing and care to stop you from hurting yourself. That's why a woman can't be on the battlefield, because she ain't gonna have the firmness to let a nigga die. You know what I'm saying? See, a man know that you got to make the tough decision. I got to let him die. See, the mother in a woman, that's if she a woman. Because every woman ain't got that mother in her. Every woman ain't got that nurturer in her to say, nah, baby, I don't want you to hurt yourself. Come on now. And that's why she's drained. Why are you drained? You operating in an arena that you ain't supposed to be operating in, and you've drained yourself of your femininity. Because now you're going to have to become a man and think and operate like a man. And now you're not understanding why you're weak. It's no different than a man dealing with an unruly, disobedient, faithless woman. She'll drain all the masculinity out of you. You know what I'm talking about? Now you can't operate like a man because she done took it all. See, what you're supposed to do, if you see this woman is not worthy of your masculine energy, if you got it, you leave. I'm out. That's all you can do. You can't try to love her into being feminine. You're stupid. You have the mind of your mother. Because your daddy ain't teach you that. And if he did, he a beta male sent man John. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? At the end of the day, hey man, one beta male begets another beta male, who begets another beta male. Now you got a community full of pussies. You know what I'm saying?
Wrong right now.
But and when I say that, meaning that as a man, you just got to know to say, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm not finna let no woman control me. You're not finna control me with your vagina. You're not finna control me with your attention. You're not finna control me with my children. You ain't finna control me with no money. You ain't finna control me with nothing. You can go. Because I love myself more than to allow you to control me, eventually cause you to disrespect me. And I can't stand for it. You know why? Because I ain't gonna stand for a man disrespecting me. So why would I sit here in the house with a woman and let her disrespect me? And I ain't talking about calling her out of name and slapping her up. None of that. No, I'm gonna remove because clearly I'm not desired here. I am a firm believer that where there's no respect, there's no trust, and there's no love. And if somebody don't respect you, you need to love and respect yourself enough to go.
That's only how you will ever.
You have to.
Walking away.
You have to. You have to do that. You have to respect and love yourself enough. You should never let nobody look you in your face and tell you, I don't respect you. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to, but you'll never have to worry about me. Yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? No hard feelings. None whatsoever. No beef, no pressure, no nothing. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone. Because I love me. You know what I'm saying? I heard women say you need to get you a man who loves you more than you love him. You better not never love no woman more than you love yourself, you damn fool, you. Because that means you operating in the position of the woman. That means you saying Yahuwah love you more than he love himself. When the book say, I do this for my name's sake, not for you.
You serve your lust too.
That don't make sense, man. He says it's hard overcoming female type thoughts, years and years of the same. See that it's not hard to overcome it. It's only hard to overcome it when you're not around men who can teach you better. That's when it's hard. If you around men who can teach you better, it is exponentially easier because they can let you know, hey, nah, young blood, no, that's not what you do. And let me explain to you why that's not. See, not on some old. See, you only get on off on when you're stupid. Remember what the book say, right? He that is reproved a lot, he gets destroyed and without remedy. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to keep telling you the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you think I ain't gonna go off on you. Because now you got me talking for what you think Yahuwah did. That man said, I saw prophets morning rising up, sending the B times. And you still didn't listen. He said, man, now I got to kill y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to kill y'all. But as a man, it's easier to overcome that if you got to surround yourself with men. Because we was in some room with a lady and she was like, no, that ain't true. I said, a man can only become a man if he's around men. He can't become a man being around women. I'm going to tell y'all something real. Y'all probably know, you know me, you know I told you this, man. Do not give a damn what a woman got to say about what it is to be a man. Don't listen to it. Don't pay attention to it. Don't record it. Who cares what she thinks and says on that matter? She has no idea what it is to be a man. She can't define what it is to be a man. Anything that got to do with being a man that she says is going to benefit her. You know what I'm saying? So you don't care. I'm not a man because I take care of a woman. I'm not a man because I take care of children. I was a man before I had the woman. I was a man before I had the children. So my manhood ain't defined by you. Because you know what Farrakhan said, you ain't a man till you get a wife behind me. I guess Yahushua wasn't no man then. I guess Paul wasn't no man then. Jeremiah ain't had no wife. So I guess he wasn't a man neither. I want to hear that. Come on, Hebrews 12:1, man.
Hebrews 12:1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed
I feel you,
about
Jane. Go ahead.
with so great a cloud of witness, Let us lay aside every weight.
Let us do what?
Lay aside every weight.
And the sin.
And the sin which do easily beset.
And let us run the race.
With patience, the race that is set before us.
Looking unto
Yahushua,
the author
and finisher
of our
faith.
Okay.
Who for the joy that was set before him
endured
the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand in the throne of Elohim.
Notice that he the author and finisher of our faith. So what did he author? He authored a form. He got rid of the chaos. He finished the chaos by dying and resurrecting from the dead so that we can have form and be full and be filled with the Ruach more so than anything. I'm on it back to Genesis 1, man. I at least got to get what I got on here. I know what I get when y'all get in the room. I get off. Psalms 119.
It said, Allah, Baruch are the undefiled in the way.
Baruch are who?
The undefiled in the way.
What they don't do?
Who walk in the Torah of Yahuwah.
Shalom, Dad.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart.
That's right.
They also do no iniquity.
They don't do what?
They do no iniquity.
They don't do what?
No iniquity.
Okay.
They walk in his ways.
Look at verse 9. Listen to what it says.
It says, bet, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way.
By doing what?
By taking heed according to thy word.
I've hid your word right now.
Sin against thee.
And ain't that's what he said the new covenant was, the word in your inward parts, so you might not sin against it. Because now you done became one with the word. That's why it's got to be in you so you can be one with it. But we would I understand something, right? It's a multitude of things we can get out of this Genesis. Because we would look at earth as land, right? What was Adam made from? Earth. The Adamah. So that means that we as men, flesh and blood, dust and ashes, we were without form and void. And then he said what? Let there be light. And what did Paul write to the Colossians? He said that we've been called into his marvelous. Get it for me, man. Colossians 1. You see how that worked, though? Because we were without form and void. We were disorderly. We were empty. We were in chaos. Because we needed to lay aside the sin and the weight that was stopping us. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It stopped. Look at here, right? See, I've been doing this too long to be talking about, oh, I got to fight with the sin. I've been doing the work for 13 years. Why would I be wrestling with things of that nature? At this point, after 13 years, you have to get to the point where Mashiach moving at to make sure that you hold fast to not lose your crown by going against what's been promised to you. You shouldn't be around here like, I got a problem with keeping the Sabbath. I got a problem with lying. I got a problem with covenant. I'm lusting after my neighbor's wife. Why you got a problem with that, bro? Why you been in the word for a decade and you looking at your homeboy lady like I'll clap her cheeks? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with you, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. Like, I get it. You in the first year in your words, you fighting your flesh. You a decade in, my G, you still got the same problems? Hell, 3 years. Let me tell you something, man. They say it take 180 days to change habits. That's what they say. That's what they say. Ain't that what that's what the white folks say. I don't know how true that is. They say it's 180 days it take to change the habit. 6 months. You mean to tell me it take you 6 years to stop sinning? Sit your funky behind down somewhere and then go get that titty club, man. Go play with them hoes. You know what I'm saying? Because you playing game. Because if he says months, 6 years is 72 months. You needed 72 months to stop sinning, bro? You really needed that long? That means you wasn't hiding the word in your heart. Ain't that what I mean? That means you wasn't walking in the way. That's what that means. It don't take that long. Let me tell you something, man. I don't give a damn what none of these wicked bastards say. You can say what you want. You can grit your teeth. You can stamp your feet. You can call me all type of stuff you want to call me, you goofy, wicked bastard. But I'm going to be honest with you. If it's something that you want to do, it don't take that long.
As soon as they...
And he said that they hear. That's what it say. But I'm just telling you the truth. I don't care what it is, man, word or not. It don't take that long to do something that you really want to do. You really wanted to go to the gym, you took your butt in there and you were lifting them weights. You wanted to get some money to get your prom too, to get them sneakers, you did whatever you needed to do to get them. You know what I'm saying? Because you had committed your mind that this is what I want to do. But now you come to the word and you say this is what you committed to doing. I need time, brother. I need time to put off my flesh. When we reading people who, as soon as they heard the gospel, they say, I'm good. I'm done with that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody going to do that. I'm talking about we can read the book of Acts, and people say they were pricked in their heart. They say, what we going to do? He said, man, be baptized in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach and receive the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh and deliver yourself from an untoward generation. And then people got dipped and say, hey, man, we gonna go from house to house. We going to get this word. We going to eat together. Hey, man, you need this. You got, hey, man, I'm good on that. Sin is no longer live in this house. That's what they did. And get what? Them people had been living under the law the whole time, and all it took was the gospel of Mashiach, and they decided to change their life. That's why the gospel is powerful. Because them men heard Peter preach the same stuff that we be preaching, and the people changed their life. You understand? They only put a couple places that Peter referenced. We have no idea everything that he preached to them on that day of Pentecost. See, he didn't come and tell them, say, you know your nationality, brother. Have you repented as an Israelite? He said, oh, you ain't know that songs was talking about him? Oh, you ain't know this place was talking about him? Oh, you didn't know that he was appointed for the redemption of sins and he beat death because it was impossible for him to be held by that. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, I'm telling it to you now. And when the people heard that, out of all them people that was out there, only 3,000 people repented. This was Pentecost now. Y'all know what Pentecost is. That's a festival feast. Every male got to come up.
Damn.
There was a whole bunch of people out there. Only 3,000 people came and got saved. Out of all that preaching Peter did, only 3,000 people came and got baptized. That's it.
What the ratio?
0.01%. And that's just speculation.
Sounds like remnant to me.
A small one. You know what I mean? Like, that's something you got to consider. It's something we done talked about before. We don't know the exact number. Well, they said it was people out of every nation under heaven that was there. That's what the book say. Every nation under heaven, they was all there. This Pentecost, you got to come up. People were still keeping the law. They were coming up. It say 3,000 souls got saved. And y'all around here thinking people going to get saved today? Well, you smoking crack.
And it's more wicked right now.
It ain't more wicked right now. It's the same level of wickedness going on now that we're going on then. Only difference with us now is it's in your face. You can see it because you got social media. You got more access to peer into other people's lives that aren't close to you. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So it seems like it's going on more, but you can see it. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't doing nothing different than they were doing. Remember what Jeremiah said? He said everybody named after his neighbor's wife. So all that I'll take your girl and all that type of stuff, they were doing it then. Man, do you would say, man, y'all feel like y'all can come in my house and that you've been delivered to do all these things and I'm cool with it. So why we gonna think that you're gonna be delivered to do all these things in his house, meaning in his son, when he said in his own temple, you ain't delivered to come in here and do this. You know what I'm saying? We doing the same thing. We doing the same thing. See, I done told y'all this before. We an arrogant generation. Because we feel like we know more than people who actually grew up in was finding out about. And you think you know more than them. You got grown men who think they know more than Paul, and they say that this man was taught by a man who was a doctor in the law, highly respected and revered by a multitude of people in the land of Yasharal. He said, I was taught the perfect man at the law at the feet of Gamaliel. And you got niggas telling, oh, I know more than you. You don't know what he's talking about. Yeah. No, nigga, you don't know what you talking about. You don't know no word, nigga. Oh, Jesus ain't appear to him. So now you saying the Lord lied because the Lord is speaking and I went and hollered at the man.
Woe unto them.
Ain't that what they say? Your Hawashai, your Yahusha, he ain't talk to Paul. He ain't no apostle. Goofy nigga don't even know what an apostle is.
He appointed himself as an apostle.
Nigga don't even know what an apostle is, so for him to appoint himself to that. They don't even know what an apostle
like the highest.
That's the highest office in the body. But the reason why it's the highest office in the body is because the revelation of the gospel of Yahusha is given to an apostle. So he's got something that the pastor don't get, that the prophet don't get, that the teacher don't get. That's what they don't understand. That's why Yahusha sent the apostles, because when he resurrected from the dead and opened their understanding, they might understand the scriptures and show them that the whole book was about them. Who else had it but them? Nobody else had that but them. So they had to go teach everybody this. That's why he said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. It was only 12 men who had to go teach the whole world. At the end of the day, you had 12 men who had to teach the whole world. Because there's only 12 men who had that information. You know what I'm talking about? And they took that information, and what did they do? They ordained elders or pastors in every city. They were diligent from going to city, teaching these men so these men could teach other men so that they could go to another city so people could get the word. That's why nobody is higher than an apostle in the flesh. But that's only in an assembly. See, what a lot of brothers get the game twisted is an apostle or pastor don't got no authority on you outside of the gathering. He don't got authority over your house. He ain't got authority over you. But when you gather together in that body, he got authority over that because he's the head of that household. So he called those shots. What he do? You can't do that. You can't put people, get your goofy behind out my house, nigga. Don't the book say the elder, the shepherd, the bishop, he said, how if he can't rule his own house, how he gonna rule the house of God? That means that's why he said and treat him as a father, because the head teacher in your congregation should be unto you as your own father. So that means you a pussy nigga because you'll go disrespect your own daddy. You coward, you. You know what I'm talking about? And the pastor, the teacher, whatever he call himself, ought to put you dead in your mouth like your daddy would. For disrespecting him in his house. But you think we all brothers. Get your coward feminine behind up out of here, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that junk aggravate me, bro. God bless, brother. It aggravate me because it shows a lack of respect for masculine leadership and authority, which shows that you was raised by your man or your daddy was a beta male sent man child. You know what I'm talking about? But guess what, right? I done been in men's congregation, bro. I'm not coming in there talking about I preach the word. You better let me preach too. That's your house, my G. You know what I'm saying? So the rules of your house, that's what we follow because I'm in your house. It don't matter that I got a house over here. Yeah. If I visit your home or visit your home or visit your home, what you do in your home, that's what I'm doing in your home because that's your house. I can't come in your house and tell you what to do in your house. If I want to do that, I need to go home. So if you come into a man and you come to that man for some word, you in that man's house. So it's that man's rules. He set them. You don't like it, get your pussy behind from up out of there. Go start your own damn house, you evil bastard. You know what I'm talking about? And Bruce need to start checking niggas on that, man.
I had to check my sister.
But yeah, Dre, yeah, it is.
Something like that. He one of those Hebrews that be gang banging the word. One day we was just chilling. And my sister came over. I didn't even invite him. But she's like, oh, I'm gonna come over.
Hey, bro,
she had him with him. I had to kick him out, man, because he was just gang banging the law. I'm like, bro, you gotta go. And yeah, I am. And my sister was mad at me ever since then. I'm like, y'all can't come over here telling me, talking about this law. I'm like, I got a higher understanding in the scriptures. Like, y'all not my teachers. Like, just come, eat, we can have a gathering. And I had to kick them out.
You know what's unfortunate? We don't have any problems. That because it's some brews that we meet and they don't understand that we don't have any problems. We don't got to come together and we just got to be talking about word and battling. Niggas just chilling. You know why? Because that's my nigga in real life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, oh, we in the word thing. So we got to do this here. That's my nigga. If we want to talk about some word, we can do that. There ain't no issue. But we can talk about whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good. Because it's my nigga in real life. See, niggas feel like, oh, we in the word. We got to talk about word 24/7. Sure.
Yeah, it be too
they
much.
only really talk about word 24/7 when they're around people that they can talk word with. Otherwise, they ain't really on the word like that.
At all. You know why I don't do that? Because when I'm around people who ain't in the word, I don't run up on them like that.
Right. They don't either.
I don't run up on them.
They don't either.
Yeah, I don't run up on them like that. Just out of respect, because you didn't ask me for it. One thing about it, when I sold dope, I ain't run up on people. I got some crack.
That's how them brews be when they want to push the word on people who ain't even believers.
It ain't even if they believers or not. I serve who asked for the dope. You ain't asked me for no dope. I ain't gonna tell you I got a pocket. You might be the police. Right. What the Lord told you to do. Don't catch your what? Well, what them pearls is, them proverbs. I ain't giving the gospel to no unclean mind. You gotta ask for that dope, then I serve you. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't ask for it, I ain't serving. Where we at, man? Colossians 1:11. Yeah, you will be his king.
It says, strengthened with all might according to his esteemed power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness. Giving thanks unto the Abba which have made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance
of the what?
Saints in life.
Partaker of the what?
Inheritance.
Of the what?
Inheritance.
Read Genesis 12. Is it 12? Yeah, 12. Not 12. Give me 14.
Genesis 1:14. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament.
Let it be what?
Let there be lights in the firmament.
Keep that in mind in a minute.
Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
He said, let them divide the what?
Let them divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for
So
seasons.
he said the lights is supposed to, in the firmament, is setting a division between life and death. Because remember, darkness is significant of what? Death. He said it's got to be, remember what John told you, right? Elohim is what? And no part darkness. So that means there's no death in him. Now swing me back, Trav, and go back to Genesis 1 and 2 one more time.
Genesis 1 and 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
That's right.
And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters.
Uh-huh.
And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
Mm-hmm.
And Elohim saw the light, that it was good.
And he did what?
And Elohim divided the light from the darkness.
Elohim
Called the light day,
and the darkness
he called night,
and the evening
and the morning
were
the first day.
So this is the thing, right? We got to understand, right? When he comes, you read it in Zechariah 14, right? He said at evening time it shall be what? He said to be light. So we got to remember something. When he come back, he gonna recreate creation upon his return. So when he cracked the sky, it's day one, for all intents and purposes. See, all 6 days is not gonna go down in like 6 days. All the framework, the form of creation is going to go down in succession upon his return. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to separate the light from the darkness. I'm going to separate the water from the firmament. But basically, I'm going to separate the sheep from the goats. That's how he going to do it on his return. You know what I'm saying? Then you add that with the tree of life, which is going to come up. Then you add that with the stars. And then you're going to end that with the 6th day, which man being created, which we talked about that already. You know what I'm talking about? And that's the other thing I forgot to mention. And we can look at creation actually going down when he was crucified. The whole creation went down when he was crucified. You know what I'm talking about? Because what happened when he got crucified? He made it go dark. And in that darkness, he said, let there be light. Because the Mashiach was on that state, and he was a light in the midst of darkness. You know what I'm talking about? When they put him in the grave, and then he resurrected from the dead, that finished the 7th and 6th day. He made man on the 6th day, but man ain't had no life in it. And in the 7th day, he rested from all his labor. See, the 6th day is when they put him in the grave, if you would. And of course, you know, a lot of Bruce be like, oh, he got up on the Sabbath. Why would he do that? Because what does the law say? He say the 7th day he did what? He rested from all his labors and he was what? Refreshed. When you look up refreshed in Hebrew, it means to be new, to be repaired. He said in Genesis 49, he saw that rest was good. He said, he say, it is what? Finished. What does it say in Genesis 2? It's finished. And then he say he rested. Why would he get up on a work day? Why would he get up on a rest day to go work? He gonna have to complete the whole text. But you know what Bruce be like, he got up on the Sabbath, them Christians talking about, because you know why? Bad doctrine. He got crucified in the midst of the week, and you want that to be Wednesday to Friday, and that ain't what that means. You know what that means? When he say he'll establish the covenant in the midst of the week. You remember what it means? You remember what it means?
Establish the covenant in the midst of the week. We're talking about the
Get it for him. Daniel 9:27. He said when you were talking to the sister about Micah 2:07. Oh, why do you think? Oh, I can't speak on why Christians don't think that it's swift judgment, because I would be speaking for people who I ain't never really had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say. I don't want to say something and then. Give me 1 second, Brother Marvin. I got
you wasn't talking about like weekday.
Go ahead, read. Daniel 9:27.
Yeah, Daniel 9:27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
He shall do what?
Confirm.
Give him confirm by definition.
Definition of the word confirm is gabar, to prevail, have strength.
Oh, to do what?
To prevail.
To do what?
To prevail.
To be what?
To prevail.
And to be strong.
Have strength, be strong, powerful.
Do me a favor, good sir. Give me John 16 and 29. It might be 26. So that confirmed changed the whole thing, don't it? So he gonna prevail and be strong in the covenant. Give it to me. John 16, 26.
It say, at that day ye shall ask in my name, and I say not unto you that I will pray for the Abba for you. For the Abba himself loveth you, because ye have loved me.
That's right.
And have believed that I came from Elohim.
That's right.
I came forth from Abba, and I am coming to the world again. I leave the world and go to the Abba.
Come on.
His disciples said unto him,
what they say?
Lo, now speaketh thou plainly, and speak no proverb. Now are we sure that thou knowest all things, and needest not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou camest forth from Elohim.
Talk.
Yahushua answered them, do ye now believe?
You believe me now?
Behold, the hour cometh, yea, and the hour now come that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own.
That's right.
And shall leave me alone.
You gonna leave me alone?
And yet I am not alone.
I ain't about myself.
Because Abba is with me.
Praise God.
These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have shalom.
Be of good cheer.
In the world ye may have tribulation, but be of good cheer.
I've what?
Overcome the world.
You did what?
Overcome the world.
I mean, he prevailed. Now, go back to Daniel 9, right? So I just want you to see that it means prevail, to have strength, to have power in the covenant. Daniel 9:27.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
1 week. Keep that in mind.
And in the midst of the week,
in the middle of that week,
he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
Now give him sacrifice and oblation by that. Now, what y'all think that week is? Real simple.
7-day week. And
no, not at all. Not at all. When Mashiach in Matthew 26, when he sat down with his apostles, what they were sitting down?
Right.
And then he said, take, eat, this is my body. And take, drink, this is the covenant of the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. How many days is unleavened bread? That's the week. Ain't got nothing to do with no 7-day week. You know what I'm saying? That's bad. That's bad dough. That's all Hebrews teach, that it's talking about a 7-day week. That's how you know something. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna say it with everybody, because some brothers been taught and they got some understanding, but that's what somebody told them. They repeat. That's what Hebrews say. They say he was crucified on Wednesday and then he rose on Friday. You know what I'm saying? No, he got crucified on Wednesday, rose on the Sabbath. You're an idiot. Because that's not the week he's talking about. Because he wouldn't have to say that. He confirmed the covenant with me in the midst of the week. He said he got strong and prevailed in the midst of the week. When did he rise from the dead? In the middle of unleavened bread. And then he calls the what? The sacrifice and the what? Ain't no need for it no more. Right. Give him sacrifice by definition.
All right. It says properly slaughter, i.e. the flesh of an animal, by implication, a sacrifice.
So when we go to Hebrews 10, he say the slaughtering of bulls and goats couldn't make the comers thereof unto perfect. He said the blood of bulls and goats and the sprinkling of the ashes of a heifer made you pure. How much more than Mashiach, who offered himself by the eternal Ruach, purged your conscience from dead works? So the covenant, he prevailed and he confirmed it, if you would. He was made strong, if you would, in the middle of unleavened bread. You know what I'm talking about? Ovulation, if you would, just say.
This is minah. And it says a donation, a tribute, specifically or sacrificially an offering of blood, and voluntary gift.
A what?
A voluntary gift.
A what?
A voluntary
He's saying
gift.
he don't win a time with his blood to make intercession to Abba for everybody who will come to Abba by him. Because you know why? Because there was a voluntary offering made every year during when? Atonement. You ain't got to do that no more. Because that's really the sacrifice and oblation that he's talking about. Ain't no more need for the high priest to do Day of Atonement no more.
Yes, sir.
That's what they're really talking about. But see, you know why? These niggas say they know the law, they study the text. How you don't know this?
You will get a believer that trip out on you. You tell them that atonement every year for you to clean up your sins.
To clean up your sin.
That don't mean that. It's like you saying.
But listen, right? If we was to go around a bunch of brews right now and tell them what we just said, them niggas will look at us like we crazy. No, brother, that ain't what that means. What you mean that ain't what that means?
It makes a lot of sense though, since you said it, bro.
You know why it makes sense? Because you're more noble than those of Thessalonica, that you're going to search the scriptures daily to see if those things are so. So when you go home later on tonight and you go to looking at, well, let me look at atonement, and let me look at unleavened bread, and let me look at this Daniel, and let me look at Mashiach being crucified, and now I see it's all the same word telling me the same thing. Now I see why the writer in Hebrews 9 and 10 wrote what he wrote. That's why I tell you, these niggas about Paul don't know. Sit your stupid behind down. You don't even know the gospel, nigga. I didn't get a chance to tell these boys this other day. And you know this, because I done told niggas this before. If you say you a scribe, you should be able to preach me the gospel and never go to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John once.
Sir.
If you can't do that, you ain't no scribe. And I stand on that. You know what I'm talking about? If you got to go to Matthew, Mark, Luke, because the reason why I say that, because we could go read Acts 28, and Paul was in his higher house, and he was preaching them boys the gospel from Genesis to Malachi. Yahushua rose from the dead, he taught them boys the gospel. From Genesis, remember what we read last Wednesday night in Isaiah 48? He said, I kept this stuff back for you, unless you say you knew it. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all didn't hear, you didn't hear that, did you? Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and hit you off with that. Let me get the repeat, man. You know, sometimes I don't always put the dope back out there with it. I put a different sample. Understand?
It's a cut right here.
Go on Isaiah 48 and 5. Just in case y'all forgot. Isaiah 5, listen to it.
I have even from the beginning declared it to you.
He say from the what?
From the beginning declared it to you.
Ain't that man told you done heard the same word from the beginning? Did this man tell you I told you the beginning from the end and the end from the beginning? So that means, remember, we can also look in the aspect, we ain't look at it, right? That Genesis 1 to 3, you know that's that man burial and resurrection, right? Resurrection in the first 3 verses of the book, right? Because he had chaos, because the just man falls 7 times, he fell in them 7 abominations, because they were 7 abominations in the man's heart who flattered him, and they killed him with their wicked imaginations, their feet being swift running to mischief. Because you know where that came from? That old faggot punk bastard who molested that girl daughter, that wicked nigga Joshua, son of Abraham, when he was putting his wee-wee in them little inbox, and this whole nigga posted one day, I'll never forget it, who is man before whom I stand. I was sitting in my mama Ford Focus. I seen this coward nigga post that a just man fall 7 times because you posting your wee-wee everywhere. My spirit was enraged. And what I'm telling you right now, it came to my mind right then. This was November 2014. You understand? So when I tell you that we've been talking about a just man fall 7 times, ain't got nothing to do with what niggas think it's talking about, well, we've been teaching that for a decade. You know what I'm saying? See, it's a few things I remember. I used to get a lot of words in the gym. And look at, I had a homegirl, just the way she behaved, a lot of words used to come to me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I could just be sitting somewhere. I remember one day I was walking to the gym and things that added to us dealing with Yahushua being Lucifer in regards to our ascending to heaven. And then Elijah going into heaven and things with Pentecost and the giving of the Ruach. I'll never forget that. That was 2013. I'm walking to the gym. You know what I'm saying? It don't be no, oh, let me just woo, woo, woo. I've been studying the word for years. So all I got to do is think on something. And if the Lord allow, stuff come to me. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like we were sitting there preaching stuff with the 2 genealogies. See, I only say this here to the esteem of Elohim because now we get an understanding to understand what the will is. So we know why we believe what we believe. You understand? See, we can look at the genealogies of Matthew and Luke, and we understand that ties him to the promise of Abraham and David, and this ties him to Adam so everybody can be saved. We ain't running around here talking about that's Mary genealogy. That's Joseph genealogy. That's dummy doctrine. That's the doctrine of men who God ain't taught. You know what I'm talking about? You know why? Because you should have looked at Luke 3 and seen that in Genesis 5. You should have looked at Matthew 1 and seen that in 1 Chronicles. Because what does Paul tell us we're supposed to be doing? Comparing what? Spiritual things with spiritual, which the Ruach HaKodesh teach. So you're supposed to be rightly dividing the word, measuring the word against the word. Little Muffin on here, y'all with it. My blood sister, my little sister, my mama only dog. You understand me? And she could tell you the first thing I ever told her is anything you read in the New Testament, you got to validate it in the Old. If you can't validate it in the Old, don't say that it's wrong. Just wait for some understanding to come. You understand me? Everything Paul wrote, it's in the law. It's in the prophets. It's there. Just because you don't know it's there, don't mean it ain't there. It ain't nothing wrong with his letters. There's something wrong with you. You understand? Ain't nothing wrong with the gospel. There's something wrong with you. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you as far as you wicked. It just means that you're deficient in a particular area at that time. You understand? But ain't nothing wrong. It's all the same word. You know the word, you see the word, and you can preach the word. A lot of people don't know the word, so you know what they ought to do? Keep their mouth closed.
All right.
Keep their mouth closed. That's all. It ain't hard to be quiet. It ain't hard to be quiet. If you don't know what you're talking about, just be quiet. That way you ain't got to worry about spitting bad dope on the street that you're going to have to answer for. Because when you put bad work on the street, boy, see, some of y'all ain't never sold no dope, right? But if you listen to no, it ain't make you sell some bad crack, right? And at least in Florida, I don't know what they do. And that junk bust that nigga hit him. But that nigga come. You know what I'm talking about? And a knife coming with that. Fight is coming with that. You bust this smoker hitter. Well, that man coming to see you, bro. He pissed off. Because you done gave him some bad. He done lost his money. He done lost his dough. He pissed. So just imagine somebody and you don't cause them to lose their soul, lose their inheritance, and lose their name. Y'all in the lake of fire fighting. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, man.
Well,
That's the dump of the day right there, man.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's serious, man. It ain't no game, bro. See, I don't say this stuff like I'm the what's the one looking for? Like I'm the repository of all scriptural understanding. But I know what I understand, though.
Y'all made me think of this
guy
who had a dream. I was looking at something on YouTube. God said he had a dream. He was in the line to get judged. He said it was this woman. This woman being judged, and the Most High was like, "I'm not judging you off of what you put on Facebook. I'm judging you off how 300,000 people took it." Woo! And he said it was a portal in the dream. It was the Elohim it was like a shadow. You really couldn't see the Elohim, and it was a portal. He said the portal had brimstone, fire, rocks, and the portal would open up, and he would say, "Depart from me." And they would go down there so quick, the screams was late. And he was like, the dream terrified him. And like, ever since the dream, this was kind of the most accurate dream I ever heard somebody talk about. Like, and he was like, it was a blue room, and it was all clairvoyant souls. And everybody was just in line, and you was actually listening to Elohim judge people, and he was waiting on your turn. And he said it was a white woman with blonde hair, and then she went into the portal, and then the scream was late, like ah. But after it was so fast, and I was watching it, like, bro, his dreams sound accurate. Like I ain't never heard nobody explain the dream. I'm gonna send it to you one day.
Word.
On YouTube.
I mean, it very well. You know what I'm saying? Because who's to say he didn't get that dream from you? And who's to say it was or it wasn't? But either way it goes, sometimes, to be honest with you, right, you could get a dream from you, and sometimes you know the text, and what you know from the text, it's in your subconscious and you dreaming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you gonna answer for that. That man said every person who teach the word, they gonna answer for every word they talk. The book say you gonna answer for every idle word that come out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's why if you ain't no teacher, hey, it's different if you want to be witness of the Lord, talk about how good and he great he is. By all means, talk that talk and let that be known. Teaching the word, that's a different responsibility. You know what I'm saying? As a man, the only people you supposed to be teaching is your family. And even with that, bro, ain't nobody teaching my wife. Man, that book say you still got to go see the man with the dough. Get what? You sit there, they say buy the truth and sell it not. And you know where you get that out of the law? Because if you wanted that corner of life, who you had to go see in the law? You had to go see Joseph. You had to go see him who sold. And then you take it back to the house and feed your family. So when you see Paul say, let the women be quiet and let them ask their husbands at home, let your husband cop the word, and he'll come back and feed you at the house if you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? The reason being is you ain't got to ask all these questions, baby. That's what you got a husband for. Ask him. And then, see, you got to let your pride go to be like, what you? I can go. See, this is different, right? You ain't got to call the pastor. Right. As a woman, you ask your husband, and instead of being proud, because it should be a family type deal, because you should be looking at the head of the assembly like your father, irregardless of his age. You should be looking at him as somebody in your family. Big bro, I need this from you real quick, man. You can break this down for me? Yeah, I got you. Woo, 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 woo. You go home, take it to your old lady and your kids. Well, it's just like that. It's very simple. You think them boys was walking around during the times of the land? The Levites ain't gonna teach my wife. I don't want to teach my wife, because the only people who were teaching were the Levites. That's the only people who were teaching. See, that's new nigga stuff, man. New nigga stuff, bro. That didn't be, your forefathers ain't, they always scream about the law, but when it comes time to operate in it, niggas got excuses. Isaiah 40:85.
It says, I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it thee, lest you should say,
I knew it.
My idol have done them.
That's right.
My graven image, my molten image have commanded them.
That's right.
Thou hast heard, see all this.
What you heard?
And will not ye declare it?
Won't you tell it?
I have shown you new things from this time.
He said, I did what?
I showed you new things.
When he resurrected from the dead, he showed him something new.
Even hidden things.
Even what?
Hidden things.
Give me Romans 16:26.
It says, but now it's made manifest by the scriptures of the prophets.
Make it 25. Then.
It says, now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel.
According to my what?
My gospel.
My what?
My gospel.
And the what?
And the preaching of Yahushua Mashiach.
By what?
According to the revelation of mystery.
According to the what?
Revelation of
mystery.
Did
he just say he showed you some secret things you ain't know? Yeah. Come on now.
It says what was kept secret.
Kept what?
Secret.
What?
Secret.
Since the world.
Since the world began.
But it's now
made manifest
by
the scriptures of the who?
Don't Hosea 12:10 say, I showed you similitudes by the ministry of the prophet. Yeah. And we just read in Peter, he say the prophets didn't even know what this man was going to happen to this man. They were diligently seeking. And you know what that's pointing to? What he put at that tree of life. A flaming sword to keep it, right? What did Paul tell you in Galatians? Faith was shut up unto you until it was revealed. Now the sword has been took off the tree of life. Now the secret is made manifest. And now you can get the word of faith by hearing. Because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. See, you ain't had that with the law. You ain't had that. Because the law ain't a faith. We done talked about that before. That's what they ate in the garden. He's trying to figure out, what did they eat in the garden? The law, nigga. What else would they have ate? It said the knowledge of good and evil. Use your brain. What is the law? The knowledge of good and evil. And when you eat it, you what? You die. Because if there was a law that could have gave life, then there would have been no need for Mashiach. That's why he told them not to do it. Because then he turned around and said, we got to keep the tree of life from them, lest they eat and do what? And what he said, if you believe, guess what you're going to do? Come on, man. And why is that important? Because who died by the law? Israel did. So Adam died for his wife because she was slain by the law. And the just died for the unjust so that we could be made perfect under God. It's very simple. But since niggas don't know the gospel, we argue about stuff that don't make no sense.
It's like poetry, man. The way you break it down, it's like poetry.
That's the goodness of the Lord.
It's like an art too.
The artist.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, that's just the Lord.
But when I first watched him, I knew he was anointed heaven. I knew it. I watched him.
What we at? Come on. What? And what?
Romans 16.
We're finished. I think that's good.
It says, now it's made manifest by the script of the prophets according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim, made known to all the nations
for the righteous obedience of faith. And that's what they're supposed to got with that tree of life. Because they could have ate from the tree of life and lived forever and never learned the law. Mm-hmm. You know why? What did he say the tree of life do? It bring forth its fruit and it's what? So when you look at that fruit, what is it bringing? The joy, the peace, the long suffering, the gentleness, the goodness, and in such there is what? And if there ain't no law, ain't no what? And if it ain't no sin, it ain't no what? So that means they could have ate from the tree of life and lived forever and never had to die. That's how you know Adam wasn't made to live forever, like a lot of people teach it. How is he that's made from dust made to live forever? Use your brain. He's not made from eternal components. He was made from dirt. But you got Bruce saying Adam was made to live forever. You know what they say when you say that? If the book say he the second Adam and you say Adam was made to live forever, that means God could die. But see, it's not their fault because don't nobody take the word and understand that this is a reflection of Mashiach, which is a reflection of the Father. So you got to pay attention to what you're saying because you unknowingly blaspheming. You don't know you blaspheming, but you blaspheming. And you blaspheming because somebody sold you a bad pack. So you see, let me tell you something, right? Everybody in here probably done smoke weed at that time in their day. And then you had a time where you know what I'm saying, you used to kick it with dudes and you thought you was really getting blazed, but they were smoking mediocre. Maybe even some hot garbage. And then you ran across a nigga and he had that woo. And when you hit it, you was scared. You was a little nervous. See, now me, I was a pothead. I had a problem. So that never happened. I ain't saying that. I was a pothead. You know what I'm saying? I had a problem. I like to smoke marijuana a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my homeboy, he had some orange haze. He said, you ain't going to be able to smoke that by yourself. I say, watch me, nigga. I say, I like to smoke, and I got some things going on. I'm a good. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I got some things. My money ain't right. Now, when I say I got some things going on, that's all I mean. My money ain't right. At least not how I want it to be. You know what I'm talking about? So the weed going to do me good. You know what I'm talking about? It's going to do me good. I was young. I was young. I was 20, 21 years old. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, we selling dope. I'm young, man. Hey, I got a little bit of money, but it ain't what I want. I can't do what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that. I can't do what I want to do. I can do what I like to do, but I can't do what I want to do. So I'm gonna smoke. So let's smoke. But some people, when they hit that weed, boy, they get scared. I don't want none of that. I need this over here. So it's the same thing with the word. When you get getting served mediocre word, average word, and somebody come hit you with that straight drop, you like to say, oh, that's too strong. I want that. I want that. I want that. Let me tell you something, man. I remember the first time, we'll know. Man, the first time I told a brother, man, about that Proverbs 24:16, bro, nigga had to get me on a conference call to talk to a whole bunch of people I didn't know. And they went and ran with that junk and couldn't properly explain it. And they like, he blaspheming. But I say, brother, who told you that was sin? Because the reason why I'm only mentioning this, because we talk about confirming the covenant in the midst of the week. How was he able to overcome and prevail? He overcame shedding innocent blood, because that's what they did to him. Because he said a just man falls 7 times and do what? Rise again. So he overcame them shed innocent blood. He overcame their false witness. He overcame their proud looks. He overcame their feet being swift to running the mischief. He overcame them sowing discord among brethren. He overcame them devising wicked imaginations. And he overcame them bearing false witness. He overcame that to confirm the covenant in the midst of the week so that you would no longer need a voluntary gift because he was that voluntary gift. Because when they said, who will go, he said, send me. And then that goes back to what we were talking about with Adam, because for love, a man would do what? His house will be utterly condemned. And it said what it was, it said his substance. So when you're dealing with substance, that's his wealth. Mashiach walked away from the wealth. Adam walked away from the Garden of Eden for love. That's what niggas don't understand. Adam didn't have to do that. He didn't stop the devil. Why he didn't do this? Instead of being, boy, God is good. Boy, that man went and said, you know what? I'll die with you. Because what sin did Adam commit? He voluntarily died. Mm-hmm. Mashiach wasn't deceived to die for us. He chose to do it. Because guess what Adam could have did? Say, oh no, baby, I'm gonna get me another wife. No, I'm just saying this is what he could have did. He could have said, you know what, baby, you're gonna eat that on your own. You're gonna die by yourself because you unjust and I'm just. So I'm gonna let you die. But instead, the just died for the unjust, forsaking all his substance for love. Which is what Mashiach did to confirm the covenant in the midst of the week, to separate the light from the darkness and the day from the night and the stars in the firmament so that you can have an eternal inheritance in heaven. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let your who be esteemed. So you got to sit back, you got to pause, you got to listen, you got to pay attention to that and let that sit in your brain. The reason why you got to pause and let that sit in your brain, because that means Abba and Shamahim is just, righteous, merciful, forgiving, and desires for his creation to be as he is. You understand? So that's why he's recreating the create, because at the end of the day, what is the creation made from the first time? A word. What did Mashiach do to creation again during the crucifixion behind? A word. What is he returning back to do to the earth to do creation again by? A word. What is he making a new heaven and a new earth by? A word. And faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. And all those that believe will never be ashamed. You know what I'm talking about? It's that simple. Man, look at man. The word is very simple. We don't need all this excess stuff that we be on, man. It's simple. And the reason why I'm saying it that because then guess what? There's no burden on your shoulders. It's a lot easier to serve this man. You move swifter. You know what I'm saying? The air's different. You know what I'm talking about? The steps different. Seriously though. Because it's like it's a load. And then off of you. And then this is what you look at and you be like, well, dang, I don't want to see it. Right. And you know what? And then that comes into play with the video you sent me. Then when you take into play, because I done told y'all this before, but not with the medical information with it. I done told you, man, they slapped this man in the face. They snatched his beard out. They put a crown of thorns in his head. They made this man carry a heavy tree. They whipped this man 40 times. They even stopped short of going past what the law said, because the law said you can't whip a man past 40. Then they took this man and they hung him on a tree. And he did all this voluntarily to confirm the covenant with you in the midst of the week so that you can have an eternal inheritance. He didn't have to do that. You was in the rebellion. He wasn't. And he suffered all that in his flesh. And you mean to tell me you can't suffer in your flesh not to sin? You ought to go to hell. You know what I'm talking about? You ought to go to hell. When you understand the suffering that this man went through, like you said, what we were talking about earlier, right? He said they break the legs for you to suffocate to death. Right. They say the only reason they didn't break his leg because he was already dead, because it was written his bones couldn't be broken. He was already dead. Do you understand how excruciating that type of death is? But you know why he went through such an excruciating? No, you know, listen to it. We should know, you know why? Because you're supposed to put him on so you could be conformed to the likeness of his suffering. All right. That way you would understand the sufferings to resist your desires. You could try to begin to understand the sufferings he went through in his flesh so you could live. Right. And I ain't talking about this so you can live, so that you can have access to an inheritance that not even that you don't even deserve, that he already had. Yeah. They walked away from it so you could get it. See, that's what they don't understand. That's what Adam was doing. I'm walking away from the Garden of Eden. And then the book says he's going to make Jerusalem like the Garden of Eden. So the second Adam going to come back and give you what the first Adam gave up, which is showing you what Mashiach did, which is what we have been talking about. That's what the rich ruler didn't want to do. See, he didn't believe the word enough to do what the Lord did, but the Lord wasn't asking him to do nothing different than what he had already done. He said, I'll keep all the commandments. He said, you want to be married? Sell everything you got. Come follow me. He said, woo, I don't believe that hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that hard. Because see, he was stuck to what he had, but then you got to give up everything and trust God that God gonna give you what you need. I don't know if I believe in God. That representative faith right there, boy. It is. Because how many people will be willing to walk away from wealth and power to serve God for a greater inheritance? Because that's what the Lord did. Let me ask y'all this here, right? Y'all tell me, right? Did he not sit at the right hand of the Father? Mm-hmm. Did he not have all riches in heaven and earth? Did he not have all rule over all principalities and powers? And did he not say, I'll do it? And been made a little lower than the Malachim for the sufferings of death. And forsook all that he had to be a contradiction against himself. And to make you a joint heir. To make you a joint heir to that. Because all he did when he resurrected from the dead was pick up what was already his. That's all he did. So at the end of the day, Yahushua didn't gain anything from what he did. He didn't get no gain. That's why he say love don't seek his own. That's why Paul wrote that. And we can look in the text and we can see that. Because it was already his. And he gave up what was his to give it to you. And we can't even stop sinning. Ain't that about a funky slut? You know what I'm saying? No, but what it shows it's the ungratefulness. And that's why I be telling y'all, we are the modern women that you complain about. The women that these niggas be online complaining. I ain't talking about regular niggas. I'm talking about Hebrews. The women they got, the woman is you. Your old lady act like that because that's how you act with your husband. You unfaithful, unappreciative, ungrateful, low down, dirty, funky bastard. Your old lady don't clean the house because you ain't clean yours. Huh? What he say? He say it's full of what? Iniquity and what? Dead men bones, ain't it? You ain't cleaned your house. That's why she don't clean yours. She don't never cook nothing. You ain't cook no sacrifice for the Lord by offering yourself as a living sacrifice. That's why she don't cook for you. You don't submit to me. You ain't submit. And this ain't for you to say to justify her behavior. Because he tell you this in Hosea. Those that don't understand gonna fall. Because see, I can't control what she do. See, that's another brother biggest problem. That's your arrogance that you think you could control what a woman do. Let me tell you something real, man. This is what people got to gain twisted. If niggas ain't gonna listen to God, what the hell make you think they gonna listen to you? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If they ain't gonna, ain't that what he told Ezekiel? No, he said they ain't gonna listen to you, Ezekiel, because they don't listen to me. No. So if they don't listen to him, what make you think they gonna listen to you? So you think you got more power than you? Oh, and get this Philippians 2:15 for Brother Reynolds. I want to say off the top of my head, Brother Reynolds, they do go together. Oh, dang, I'm almost thinking I'm at the house. Yeah, because these bottles here be so low dolo for me. You know what I'm saying? I had me one, they had it inside because I buy certain. No, they can drink it, but they certain stuff. Well, I'm tapping out the bottle, nigga, drunk man style. My wife, she probably don't like it. She ain't never did nothing.
That he may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Elohim, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation,
shining,
among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
That's right. That's the same thing, Brother Reynolds, because that's what you want to be to take you to Daniel. But I need to get this firmament though. Get off here. I think we need 1-6, Genesis 1-6. Well, praise the Lord. I ain't get everything I wanted to get, but we got what we need to do. So let you will be a thing.
And Elohim said, let there be a firmament.
Let there be what?
A firmament.
A what?
A firmament.
What's good, bro? Hey, give them firmament by definition. Hey, y'all remember, man, 12:30. Tomorrow service is not at 3 o'clock. It's at 12:30. And y'all know in the city, don't let there be no reason for y'all not to go where everybody's supposed to go. Don't be like, well, that nigga ain't here, man. I'm going to stay to the house. I hope you would make you have diarrhea. I'm dead serious, too.
If I was for real.
If you're going to be to the house, I hope he give you diarrhea.
Be a reason.
No, dead serious. Because if you would pull up, if I was there and we done made, you know what I'm saying, provisions, I would appreciate if you do the same. You know what I'm talking about? I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? If not, I hope he give you diarrhea. I hope everything you eat don't stay down and you throw it up in your cheeks.
Yeah, comfortable diarrhea.
Is this the way we go?
Only being because you're being lazy and unthoughtful, thinking, well, shoot, he ain't here, so I ain't got to do it. But remember, you ain't doing it for me, you're doing it for the Lord. All right. And y'all don't never need to forget that. This ain't for me. You pulling up on the Sabbath day don't do nothing for me. You doing that for the Lord. You ain't doing that for me. I hope you ain't doing it for me because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I don't give a damn if you come or not. And I ain't saying that in no rude or disrespectful way, meaning that I ain't going to stop doing what I'm doing because you don't come. That's what I mean when I say, I don't care if you come or not. You know what I'm saying? Ain't going to be like, well, ain't nobody came, so I guess ain't no dope getting sold. Oh, the dope getting sold. You know what I'm saying? It's getting sold. But more so, it's y'all. We got to stick together, man. Don't never find no reason to be separate when you should be one. That's my point of saying what I'm saying. We talk about it every time somebody gets baptized. Y'all know what Job 41 say. Say those the scales are as pride and they stick close together so don't no air get in between. Don't never seek for no reason to be separate. Seek for a reason to be together. Anytime you seek for a reason to be separate, you seeking for a reason for the devil to get in.
That's when the enemy coming to be.
I don't care if that's in an assembly. I don't care if that's in a brotherhood. I don't care if that's between a man and his wife. Don't never seek to be separate. Seek to be one. And I told you, man, I don't care what we got going on, man. And man, we leave with love in this house. I don't care if you're upset with one another. You get on niggas' last nerve, this, that, then the third, and nigga leave with love. Nigga, I don't care what you got going on, man. It ain't necessary. See, when you leave with love, you'll find out a lot of stuff you be upset about ain't even really that serious. That's not to say that if something upsets you that is invalid, because that's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm just saying, if we deal with it by just leading with love and saying, hey, man, I don't really care for this, or this makes me look at it like this, then you just have that conversation, man. That's if love. That's it. If you love the person who you is upset. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta see that, and that be the problem, because ain't that what the book say, forgiving one another, forbearing one another, in what? In love. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to love each other, man. We all we got. You know what I'm saying? All we got is us, man. Man, I know you got your friends and family, but you ain't got them. Not in this right here. You ain't got them. So when they get real with this, that, there, and the third, they can't give you the strength, comfort, direction, guidance, or strengthening that somebody in the word can give. So you understand? So you know what he told Peter to do when you converted? Strengthen your brethren. What you say? Trust in Yahuwah. For in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. You understand? So how you strengthen your brother? By giving them words of faith. That's how you do that. I can't strengthen my brother with the law. They ain't gonna give him no strength. That's condemnation unto death. I can't strengthen my brother with telling him his life. That's glorying in his flesh. I can't do nothing but give him where strength come from. That's what we just read. He confirmed the covenant, right? In the midst of the week. That said to make him strong, did it not? So I can't do nothing. And what was he made strong for? Because my flesh rested. What's that? That's batak. That's an expectation. Why did he have an expectation? That he won't suffer his Kadash one to see corruption. And when I rise, I'll be awakened with your lightning. That's what the book say. You know what I'm talking about? So I got to strengthen my brother with the expectation of reward that comes through faith. You know what I'm talking about? Then whatever he's dealing with, whatever he's suffering through, whatever the case may be, he said, because the pride of your faith is more precious than gold. That means he can understand his son on the other side. Give me Job 5 and 10, man. Not Job James. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna give him about 5-10 more minutes.
It says, take my brother and the prophets, whom have spoken in the name of prophets, whom have spoken in the name of the master for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
That's right.
Behold, we count them happy which endure.
We count them what?
Happy which endure.
Why?
Ye have heard of the patience of Job.
The patience of who?
Of Job.
Okay, tell him again.
And you have seen the end of the master.
What was the end of it?
That the master is very pitiful and out of tender mercy.
Job, but at the end, right, did he not show mercy? Did he not show compassion? Was he not rewarded for all that he suffered because he never gave up his faith? He never did. And it shows you the difference, right? How faith is greater than the law, because what was Job's error? He was trusted in his own righteousness. He trusted because he kept the law. He was righteous before God and was neglecting faith. That's what you were supposed to be learning. That's what you're supposed to be learning. That's what you're supposed to be learning. But you ain't paying attention to that.
Hell no.
They ain't pay attention to that. Because that's what it said. It said Job was what? Righteous in his own eye. And when you read in Romans 4, that's what that's telling you. He said if it be of the law, it be of debt, so that you righteous in your own eye, it wouldn't be a free gift.
No. Yes, sir.
But I don't, these niggas master teachers though, man. Of course they gonna let some of these niggas get on platform to sell that bad behind dope. You know what I'm talking about? You think they'll really let somebody get on a platform to 30 millions of, I'm talking, let this be known, right? And understand this and know this. Well, Yahuwah got preachers everywhere. Let that be known. That's why I said I'm not the repository of all scriptural understanding. God forbid I would even utter such a thing in my own heart. This man got men everywhere.
That was name 30 was on.
Yeah. See, I know better than that. You know what I'm saying? He got men everywhere. See, this is what people got the game twisted at. And I'm looking at this here because Davon asked me years ago. He's like, man, poor people should be followed. I'm like, why would you think that? Because you appreciate the word. I don't mean the world.
That's right.
And sometimes we go to looking at it like, why wouldn't nobody
be
want
saying
this?
that too, though.
I know you done said it to me before. You done said it to me before. But understand this here though, right? That ain't for everybody. You know why? Because we preaching the word of faith.
Yeah.
So we talking about an unwavering, unshakable, unbreakable building upon the words of the law and the prophets and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach.
You never hear the Hebrew Israelites say, talk about faith though. They never really talk.
Because they don't believe the word. Because they feel like that's Christian doctrine. But you know why they look at that? Because they don't understand that it's a Muna, it's a Ma, and it's a Met. And that's firmness, reliability, steadfastness, sureness, faithfulness. So when you looking at that, that's the attribute of a true friend, a true man. I can rely on him. He's faithful in what he say he gonna do. He's steadfast in what he say he is and what he say he ain't. So when he give me a word, I know I can stand on that. See, I done gave y'all this analogy many times over the years. Everybody done had a friend who they know when they said something, they consider that to be done.
Except for that deodorant today. I mean, that lotion.
But you were good because you had a medical emergency. You know what I'm saying? That's different. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't know that. Or you be like this here, when Trav said that's done, you ain't asking no questions. I know that's done. I ain't worried about that. But you got some people, they say stuff, I don't know if that nigga gonna do that. I better go get that. Because you don't really rely on him. You don't rely on his word. You don't believe his word is faithful and steadfast. You know why? Because he done showed you unreliability. See, Yahuwah ain't never showed you that he wasn't faithful. Yahuwah ain't never showed you he wasn't steadfast. Yahuwah ain't never showed you he wasn't reliable. So when you know that and you hear that word, it's easy to ride with him. But you understand, son? If niggas don't trust people who they can see, you know they're going to have a problem trusting him who they can't see. But you also know it also shows an underlying statement that a lot of these dudes really ain't meant. Because, you know, your word is your bond, man. All you got is your word and your balls. And you shouldn't be breaking them for nothing. And these niggas breaking balls and booty holes every day.
When you believe here, that's all you people gonna remember you for, really.
No doubt, your manhood and your word. See, your word is tied to your masculinity. The more of a man you are, the more firm you are with your word. The less of a man you are, the less of a man you are to your word. You know what I'm saying? And Yahuwah is a man's man. He's the realest ever. Ever. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They got to put no real man. Ain't got to put no real nigga. Ain't got to put none of that. He the realest ever. Why? Because who he says he is, that's who he is. And what he says he does, that's what he gonna do. And if he wouldn't do it, he wouldn't have told you. Ain't know what he told you? In my father's house, there's many mansions. If it wasn't so, I wouldn't have told you that. Elohim is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of a man that he should repent. If he say it, then he gonna do it. Because if that wasn't the case, I done told people before this in the street, when I used to preach in the street, they used to look at me crazy. I said, man, if this man say he moonwalk on the moon, then that's what he did. And I ain't got to see it. Somebody be like this here, you got to see this. I didn't need to see them show the place where the rock was split in half. I didn't need to see Pharaoh chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea. The man said they was under there, and nigga, they there. I don't need to see Noah's Ark. He said it was there, then nigga, it was there. Because if it wasn't there, because what benefit does he get to lie to me for? Let me tell you something. You know why people lie? Fear. What Yahuwah fear me for? Who am I for him to lie to?
You don't have no authority.
But guess what? But it ain't even just that. But see, this is different, right? If you've been around men at any time in your life, or you got a piece of manhood inside of you that it might have not been cultivated in your youth like it should have been, but it was throbbing and it had a desire to manifest itself because you know, damn it, I'm a man. And then you run across Yahuwah, his manhood speaks to you. It speaks to you. And it's saying, this is the man that I need to be.
Makes you more of a man.
You know what I'm saying? This is the man that I must be, that I will be. See, that's where it comes. That's where it started changing. This is the man that I want to be. This is the man that I need to be. This is the man that I will be. Yeah. Meaning that I will be in the image of the son of Elohim. See, that's the process where faith goes. When you hear the word, I want to be this man. And then when that word go to burn it in your heart, and I need to be this man. And then it go into once you get a grasp of actually walking the word, now it is, I will be this man. And he said it ain't no robbery to make yourself equal with him, because it wasn't no robbery for him to make himself equal with his father, because that's what the will in heaven is. For all us to be like him. For all us to be with him. That's his desire. We don't even understand that.
That's the dream, right there.
Amen, brother.
That's it.
Ain't that what he said? He said, be perfect as your father in heaven so that you might be the children of your father. That's his desire. Let me tell you something, right? I think everybody in here got children. More specifically, sons. I ain't got no son. You know what I'm saying? But my baby do look like me. You know what I'm talking about? But, and I only say that because when you have a son and you look him in the face and you see your face in his face and he in your image, then your desire is to do what? That he had your mind, that he had your spirit, that he had your character, that he had your work ethic, that he had your drive, that he have your discipline, because you want him to be as you are in this earth, but what? But better. Because what did the Lord say? Greater works than these you're going to do. I'm going to put you in my image, but I want you to be better. Same thing. That's all the Lord wants. I want my family to look like me. I want them to think like me. I want my son to follow my trade and my ways and my doings so that we can all be together as a family so I can give all my sons their inheritance because it's my pleasure to give it to you. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Run this verse 6. Let me get these people out of here 10:30.
Then Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
Give him firmament by definition.
Firmament is rakia, an expanse of firmament of visible art.
And it also is a pavement, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Something hard. You know what I'm saying? Concrete, if you would. This firmament makes a separation. We was in the firmament today. I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's like this here, like some people like to look out the window. I don't want to look at that. One thing it did give me, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. This did come to my mind when we were looking at it, right? Which to an extent I can see why people believe the earth flat, even though people want to mock that. Because when you up there, right, and you can see the expanse of whatever city you over. Mm-hmm. What came to my mind is exactly what's in the text. It said, every eye shall see him. Mm. So it says that he's going to come back in the Mount of Olives and he's going to split the sky. Also, what came in my mind was 2 Chronicles 16:9. He said, the eyes of you who will go to and fro throughout the whole earth, showing themselves strong and on behalf of those whose heart is perfect towards him, and that there's no place for the workers of iniquity to hide. Mm-hmm. So what I'm looking at is while we up, I'm like, well, this man's seeing all you niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's what will come to me. I'm like, he looking down and he see all you niggas. And he see everything you doing. You know what I'm talking about? And then when he cracked that sky, just like he seen all y'all, I'm gonna see him.
I had a dream a while back when in LA. I was walking in my apartment and I was looking at the moon, and the moon just like fell and was gone. And the earth went completely dark. And it was a moment of silence. And everybody on earth started screaming. And in the dream, I couldn't even see my hand in front of me. And my heart trembled. But like that's all I remember from the dream. But it was like the scariest. It was the scariest dream I ever had. It was like my heart trembled, and moon was gone. Was no stars in the sky. And
hey, you had a dream. I had a dream about the coming of the Lord. I remember that. It was about almost 10 years. I'm talking about all I seen was dead bodies falling in the street, screaming and hollering, just looking around like, boy, these niggas dying, and he killing them all.
Yeah, that's what
I'm talking about. And you just sit around looking like. And that's when I knew right then, boy, don't play with that, man. And I ain't saying that came from him. Right. All I'm telling you is, I had a dream about it. I seen the man come, not necessarily even seeing him, just knowing that, because I didn't actually see him.
Me neither. I didn't see him, but I seen the evidence that he must have been.
I didn't see the evidence. I felt the presence. Yeah. It's forth is in the dream like that he was there. Mm-hmm. But seeing the manifestation of what the text say would happen. But I didn't see him, though. You know what I'm talking about? and they would just drop it. And all you heard were people screaming and hollering. You know what I'm saying? And I did thinking in my mind when I woke up, like, boy, you don't pay to be no sinner. Yeah. You don't pay to be no sinner. Ain't no winning for no sinner, man. That's why niggas looking at a Jay-Z. Jay-Z ain't winning. Puffy ain't winning. It looked like they winning. That's why the text tell you don't be envious of the workers of iniquity and the things that they get.
They tell that right now. They starting to see they ain't winning. No, you can tell by their actions and the way they talk. They trying to talk now. You know.
See, now with the stuff they trying to talk do now, because they know we stupid. What I mean by stupid, you know the truth, but you believe lies. They know certain buzzwords will keep you down with them to spend money with them, so Mr. Charlie will keep breaking them off. Because contrary to pop, you just seen it said Jay-Z wanted to buy Duce for $1.5 billion, and Carter said no. All these years, niggas thought that was his liquor. It ain't even here. You know what I'm talking about? All this time you think all that stuff he got going on with Rock Nation and Live Nation is the power behind that. That all these niggas is this thing. So when Dane was talking about what these niggas had going on, niggas talking about Dane was hating. He wasn't hating. This nigga's just he's just a highly paid. But I ain't no big deal about that because he bought somebody else's company. And contrary to popular belief, people buy companies and sell. That's what people do. But what I'm talking about is them putting a face on a man like he own and control something, and he don't. Like Jordan don't control them shoes. That's why niggas like, how they gonna sell them Yeezys like that? Because they own them. You know what I'm saying? You thought because his name was on the shoe, he owned it. But at the end of the day, he just was a highly compensated employee. That's all that was. Because if you can't take it with you, that means you ain't an entrepreneur. That means you work for them. If somebody can stop your money and keep your stuff, you was an employee.
Highly paid designer.
That's all you were. I know niggas don't like to hear it, but that's the truth. Michael Jordan can't take that Jumpman logo with him. They can't even take his name.
And then they getting smart now. Because I believe Kanye still control opposite.
Well, I mean, I ain't even getting caught up on that. I'm getting focused on the part of that niggas Oprah don't own. We didn't talk about it before. Oprah don't own. Discovery Channel do. She's a highly paid employee. So when you have highly paid employees, they're going to go do what those people tell them to say and do in order to keep the money coming. Because these are not really independent business owners. Because if they were, it wouldn't matter. See, Whitlock, like I told you earlier, he can say whatever he want to say. Because he don't work for them people. See, like I told y'all before, right? This YouTube channel ain't monetized. I can say what I want. Ain't no ads running on here. We probably ain't never gonna monetize this channel. I've never had we ain't got enough subscribers to monetize the channel. I don't even care. Brother Lewis sent me the thing to do StreamYard so people could do super chats and all that. And guess what I ain't did yet? Set it up. Because I don't care. Not that I don't care that he took the time to do that, because I definitely appreciate that. You know what I'm talking about? Because what we really wanted it for was to stream on multiple platforms, not for no money. You know what I'm talking about? So the reason why I say that is when you're on somebody else's platform and you're beholden on them to pay you, you can't really say what you want. Because you work for them. Even though you may go live on your channel, you're beholden to them. But since this channel ain't monetized, man, screw YouTube. I can say what I want. Because you can't demonetize my video because my video don't make no money. All you could do is take the channel down. All we'll do is make another one under another email and keep on going. That's it. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? When you do stuff for money, you beholden to the people who paying you.
People saying they made hoes.
You know what I'm saying? But that's when you're talking about true autonomy. When you got to answer to another man, you don't own it. See, like we said, he make his own music, right? So he can put it where he want to put it. He said, I don't want to put it on Apple Music. Guess what Apple can't do?
Take it and put it up there, and you do as soon as the big stitches of your.
They can't get what he did. He said, you know what? I'll make my own website, put out my own music, And I ain't got to pay nothing to nobody. And can't nobody come take my website down because I paid for the domain. So you can't take that from me.
Or take more of my profit than I make.
You can't do nothing.
No. I'm done.
That's the way.
But I'm using that as a point of I own and control that. I don't answer to you. You can't take nothing from me. You see the beauty of the Lord, how that works? Because that's what he did. They can't take, the only person who can take something from him is his father, and his father gave him all things. And say, son, that's yours. The son, that's yours. And then guess what the Lord turned around and do? He said, you know what, Pop? I'm gonna give it to my son. Because we Yahuwah's son, we Yahusha's son. He said, you know, his Abba said, son, I'm gonna give all things to you. And he said, you know what, Abba, I'm gonna give all things to my sons. He said, sound son, rock out. Simply what he did. At the end of the day, what is it? The grandfather gave to the son gave to the grandchildren, or Abraham gave to Isaac, and Isaac gave to Jacob, and Jacob gave to the 12. Just that simple. Boom, boom, boom. Because at the end of the day, us being the 12, we benefit from what? From what the Abba gave, which is Abraham. And we're benefiting us as sons of God. We benefiting from what his Abba gave. I know it's hard for each other. I know it's hard for brothers to accept that Yahuwah is Yahushua. I know it's hard for them. I don't understand why. Because we'll say in one breath, you only one. We only been dealing with the son in the wilderness. But then who is Yahuwah? I mean, oh no, that's the father. No, that ain't. That's your father, and that ain't the father. You don't know him. You know how you don't know him? Because you don't know his name. Because some of see, me and you old enough to know you would never call your granddaddy by his first name.
I just now found out my granddaddy.
You might get away with calling your daddy by his first name, but you would never call your grandfather by his first name. Why you think you don't know Yahuwah's father's name? Why you think you don't know his name? You don't need to know it. That's your Abba. That's all you need to know. You know what I'm talking about? You don't need to know his name because that's out of respect. Deal with your father. Call on the name of Yahuwah. Call your daddy. Don't call me. You know why? Because I'm the king. I sit on my throne. That's what my son for. You ain't see, because Abraham was alive to see Esau and Isaac. I mean, Isaac, Esau, and Jacob. You think they were running to him? You got a daddy. Go talk to Isaac. What you talking to me for? I taught him justice and judgment. Talk to your daddy. I don't want to talk to you. If your daddy want to come talk to me, Isaac, because I didn't give everything I had to Esau and Jacob. I gave everything I gave to Isaac. But you know, a lot of us don't know nothing about them family command. But this is what we were looking at, man. Y'all, we'll pick it up tomorrow. We need to get off here, right? But when you look at the rich man and Lazarus, right? What did the rich man say was stopping him? What did Abraham tell the rich man was stopping him from getting the Lazarus? A great chasm, a great gulf, a nice set of pavement, if you will, a firmament. Separation from the heavens and the earth. And it would have said it made to separate the heaven from the earth. So when you're looking at that at Abraham's bosom and the firmament, you're looking at separating the sheep from the goats and the saints from the sinners. A nice chasm. Because remember, if your name written in the earth, guess where you going? But if your name written in heaven, guess where you going? Where Yahuwah is. Hallelujah for y'all who trying to work, man. We start right here, man. It's 10:45. I appreciate y'all kind to see the man. I bless y'all in the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, man, 12:30. 12:30, because I know somebody gonna text me and ask what time I'm starting tomorrow. I know somebody. 12:30. Special time of 12:30. I don't know if we gonna put some dope on the street when we pull up on y'all. I'm gonna have my laptop with me if the Lord allows. Be ready. It could be a pop-up dope house at any time because I stream right from there. I mean, I pull my laptop out and stream right from there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you can be prepared for that. But y'all willing 12:30 guaranteed. You know, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You who willing, man. We'll pick this up on tomorrow. I'll be forgetting even at 8 o'clock. It don't matter. Shoot, they ain't got nothing to do. Those of y'all on Clubhouse, man, I